Hello everyone, this is Al Red Sox Fan coming to you from Al Red Sox Fan YouTube station. We're going to do something a little different. This is actually a test broadcast. Not really going to be that exciting. Not that my videos are, but hoping supposed to have some subscribers jump in. Sound check's good. Jump into the chat, and we're getting a subscription league going of people who sub, and they've picked some teams, and I have them listed on my out of the ballpark video from a couple of days ago. Some teams list. I'm hoping to get a few subscribers in the chat and see how this is going to work. If we can do it through the chat, I think we're going to end up trying to do it through Skype or Twitter maybe, but we shall see. Again, this is just a test. I'm going to stay on for a little bit and see if I can get any of the subscribers on. And what will happen is they'll pick a team, and we'll get them, even if I just get one person, pick a team, and we're going to go through how you set your lineups, your pitching, so on and so forth. Right now I'm watching the Boston Red Sox live. It's a tie ball game. The Royals have the bases loaded, and that's ball one. So the Red Sox have gone into poop the bed mode late in July, as the Yankees have jumped out ahead of them. Hello, Beatles Eternally. How are you doing, my friend? So we do have a subscriber, and we're going to wait. Tell us about your projects, Beetle. This is just a test. We're going to try to play a game, but let's hear what's going on with your projects. I know Beatles did in Digital Diamond Baseball, he did a Greatest Teams League that he set up. So feel free to jump in the chat. This isn't our normal. Actually, this is going to be more of a discussion kind of chat for a while. And if we get ready, we're gonna hopefully get another subscriber in here. And if not, we'll just go, if Beatles is able to, we'll go a little bit and try to set up this game and see how it works. So I'm watching the Red Sox right now. It's tied 6-6. Bases loaded. Here comes another pitch. That ball is foul to the left, excuse me. So Beatles says 1919 Black Sox in first, 68 wins and 32 losses. Now that is with out of the ballpark, Beatles. So that's another thing we're going to do tonight. If you jump in the chat, tell us what you're working on project-wise, games you're playing, baseball, basketball, football, any type of video game, computer game, dice board game. And I'm going to be giving shout-outs to channels such as Tabletop Baseball and the Earls and Tenacious Earl. They do a wonderful job. So check out Tabletop Baseball. A very good channel with the two Earls, and they literally play tabletop baseball. It's very fun. If you're a baseball fan, you will enjoy that channel. Also, baseball demos with, I believe his first name's David. I just found out today when I was in the Tabletop Baseball chat. He does an absolutely wonderful job, and there's a lot of good people. When you go on those channels, you'll see that there's these other channels that do very similar things. And I just subscribed to Stratomatic Delaware, I believe it is. I'm going to be checking out his channel. He's put on some new stuff that I've never seen. I've just met him on the Tabletop Baseball chat. Earl had two fabulous games, so check them out. I'm not going to tell you what happened, but they were really good, close games. And Beatles Eternally says yes to his 1919 Black Sox, used with out of the ballpark, and the Red Sox have pooped the bed. Kansas City goes ahead 7-6 now. So, yeah, it makes me feel good as a Red Sox fan. Hey, if you want to talk live real baseball, especially about the Red Sox, as I kind of know about them, I don't follow the other teams like I used to. But Beatles is from the Netherlands. How is the weather in the Netherlands? No gigs tonight, or let's see, 6 hours ahead. So you're 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. Wow, it's almost 4 in the morning in the Netherlands. You're up early, Beatles. Hopefully you have a cup of coffee. Doing an action greatest players, PC player. Oh, you're putting the teams together. How is that going along? I thought about buying that one. I thought about that. Beatles says, actually, I'm Irish living in the Netherlands. That's okay, Beatles. We love the Irish. One of my favorite stations, Johnny Giantsbane, is from Ireland. A lot of Game of Thrones talk there, if you like that stuff. He does an excellent job. He's actually on live right now. So, Oh, the Tigers. Beetle says for his Action PC greatest players, the Tigers in first in the American League. Now, is this the one that has all the? I have the greatest. Is this like the best players year-wise for each team? Is that what that is, or is this? There's another package with just great players that you have to actually, I think, put on teams. And Beetle says the Pirates are in third. So those are always fun. It's what's fun about those Beetles is I've played a few of them. I think I do a couple, yeah, because I did the greatest White Sox versus the greatest Cubs. It's the decisions you have to make. Yeah, okay, it's the one already on the rosters. That's a fun league. I made my own little rule, though, that you have to use different players each game because there's so many good players. I have the unlimited, how can I put it, unlimited rosters. So, and the rule is you have to use every player. The only time I like to try to, because there's so many great players. The only time, what was it? The White Sox didn't have, oh, it was the White Sox. They only have one second baseman on their team, Nellie Fox. And I didn't look to see who else could play second. I'm sure there's someone else. I just have to go through all the infielders. And yes, I have two Cubs, all-time Cubs and White Sox games on the channel here on YouTube. So those were fun. Then I did Miami and Tampa Bay. And Beetle says there's a better version out there. Oh, are you talking about the Sports Illustrated one? I wish they'd come back with an updated version of that game. He's got to tweak. If they do, they got to tweak it a bit. Just a few things. I like that game. I like that they loaded all the players' pictures. I like that they have all the fields. That's a fun game. And even if you don't want to buy it, you download it for free. And you get, like, I think you get 8 or 9 seasons. I was playing the 72 season. Yes, Beatles Eternally in the chat says, go to Dombrov Baseball site. He created a better version for Action. So, yeah, it's the Greatest Teams League. And when you download it, they have them there. I played a little bit of that. I've played that. I haven't put that one on my channel yet. I'm still, Beatles, do you have Stratomatic computer game, correct? Beetle says, and by Christmas this year, the next version will be out. Now, the next version, an upgraded version, a more, because that's absolutely fabulous that they actually, even if you don't want to buy it, and I've been thinking about it, the free game is absolutely awesome. Oh, so you don't have Stratomatic. So you're buying it. Now, I want to buy the one, because I think I'm going to do it, because I love watching the Earls play. And I have the old Stratomatic game. If I had to set up, I'd actually roll a game for ha-has, for my homage to the Earls. Okay, Beetle says, Dombrov Baseball site. The next game is called Dombrov, or Dom BRV Next Generation. So Dombrov next. I think that's going to be cool. I'm going to check that out. Hopefully he has a free demo to download. Even if it's just to play one game, I think that's great. I did download a demo of another game I don't know if you have this one, Beatles. What is that game? Let's see here. Let's go baseball games. I'm just going on my folders. I can't remember the game. I downloaded it, and they were kind enough also on their site to have, you can play a third of their season. Actually, let's go to the window. I can't bring it up. Okay. But it is, oh God, what is it called? It's going to drive me nuts. Actually, if I go here, I go desktop. There we go. Sometimes it takes Al Red Sox fan a couple of minutes for the brain to start working. Computer baseball games. PC Replay Baseball. You can download a free demo of that and play a third of the season. I mean, you roll the dice and everything, and that's cool. Hello, Ken Castro. So now we have 2 subscribers. Excellent. Anyway, PC Replay Baseball. I wasn't digging it. I'm looking. I want one more dice game, and I have to really like it to spend that kind of money. You know what I mean? I enjoy my Action PC, as you know. I love out of the park. I always say out of the ballpark, out of the park baseball. I love Digital Diamond Baseball. I love the Don Brav Sports Illustrated. Even Pure Sim, which is free. Ken Castro, how are you doing? How are your projects going? This is more of a chat here, Ken, but now we've got you and Beatles. I don't know if you have some time. Maybe if you do, maybe we play a few innings to see how we can do this subscriber channel. If it's possible to do it through the chat, which, again, people are going to see other people's strategies, but, again, it's all for fun. Or maybe I'm just trying to figure out the logistics of this. Possible Skyping, possible sending me your lineups the way you want them. And Ken says, I'm well, Al. Thank you. Well, it's always good to hear that. And you know what? Ken is right. He says the Beatles nice that you have the night off. Beatles is a musician, a very fine musician. He says, glad you're here, my friend. We always love to see our good friends here in the chat. And again, bring up what other subjects you want. I don't know if we're actually going to play a game. This could just be chat night, but I would like to try to pick a game. Is Hangout viable? Yes, you mean Google Hangout? I think that is. I'm just curious because I record my streams through what is called OBS. I use that. And I would that means I would have to bring up 2 simultaneous streams. And I think we can do it because I don't think, like Action PC, the stream is that, it's not like a video game, like an action RPG. It's not going to, the frame rate I think is fine, you know. I also thought, I don't want to because we already set it up for using Action PC, but probably Digital Diamond Baseball would have been possibly better for that, but I think we'll have fun with Action PC. I think we will. I think it's going to be really fun once we figure out the logistics. The Bears, the Cubs. As I went dyslexic, as I always do, it's the Cubs, the Bears. He says, whether you use dice or PC, it is impossible to accurately play teams of different eras. You're correct. You're correct. Because you don't, and let me continue on. He says, more than 40 years apart. Cy Young is going to pitch the whole game, even if he's getting crushed. Yes. And I found that, and I don't know if you've seen some of my recent streams, the Cubs, the Bears. I've actually taken control of, like I take control of the 27 Yankees when I think their starter's done, and I'll bring in a reliever. And the Cubs, the Bears says, a modern team is going to start using relievers around the 6th inning. You're right. So it's a clash. It's a clash. That's why it's fun. Again, we don't know who would accurately win these games, but we're going to have fun playing them and discussing them. And whatever, I think it's going to be fun. We just have to figure the logistics out. And again, whether it's something through Google Hangout, which would be 2 simultaneous streams. I've never done that before. I've done Google Hangout. Normally, tonight there's a boxing match on between Adrian Broner, and Mikey Garcia. I was going to do a live broadcast for that, my play-by-play call, but I decided I'd rather come out here and try and get this thing set up a little bit. So, the Cubs, the Bears, says, in a modern, I already said that. Beatles Eternally says, I much prefer the dead ball era of baseball. There's a lot of baseball fans who play, for better terms, Stratomatic or strategy baseball. They do prefer the dead ball era. I've noticed that. They like the pitching. I like a good pitcher's duel, too. I loved when Earl from Tabletop did the Sandy Koufax replay. That was fabulous. I don't know how you guys felt about that. So, I've started a couple of... I'm like a squirrel. I start a project. I do finish them, but then I have another idea, and I want to start that one, too. So I've started a couple. As Beetle says, I believe yes to the Sandy Koufax replay. And Ken Castro says, I'm with you, Beatles. Oh, Ken's talking about the dead ball here. Ken also plays the Grays. That's the team, right, Ken? Or am I messing that up? I apologize if I am. But I started a few other just pitching projects where I'm taking the 1927 Yankees and I've loaded up some teams in what I call the Yankees versus everyone or all comers. And I've already done two. The Pedro Martinez game was fabulous. And I did Chris Sales the other night, which was fun. And I'm going to do, I think, Mark Birch Fidrich. Oh, my God. That's awesome, Ken. So, the Grays, the 1884 Providence Grays. That's awesome. Ken is from Rhode Island, I believe. So, yeah, so that's a project. We're going to finish our one-and-done tournament, our second one. The Cubs, the Bears, and I'm proud of myself because I didn't go dyslexic that time. I really slowed down my reading pattern. He says, my schedule is tough for the next couple of weeks, so I'm not going to commit to your... That's fine, subscriber, but for the record, my teams would be... And then there's no teams. Ken Castro, the Martinez game was the best. Oh, it was so much fun. He struck out... Well, I think he got 14. Eric from Higher Ground Gaming has joined us in this happy-go-lucky chat about all subjects, so... Alright, let me write this down, the Cubs, the Bears. Because I've been asking people to put it on the site so I don't forget. Well, you know what? I can send you something with a roster, and you can just set your roster the way you want it, and I'll play it out for you. Then you can yell at me later when I mess up. So, 1930 Philly A's, Philadelphia Athletics, if anyone doesn't know. And the second team, the 1939 Yankees. Sweet. I definitely have the 1939 Yankees. I'm pretty sure I got the 30 A's, too. 1939 Yankees. Okay, and that's for the Cubs, the Bears. Beautiful. So remember, we got Eric from Higher Ground Gaming with Mr. Brody in the chat. Thank you very much for joining us, Eric. What's going on with your channel? Feel free to share. This is what this is about tonight. Also, hopefully we play a few innings between two subs and test out if for ha-has in the chat. Pick a team, set the lineups. It might drag a little bit, but we'll play a few innings if you guys want to. So Eric from Higher Ground Gaming, another wonderful channel that I subscribe to. Highly recommend it. I think everyone in my chat is subscribed to it. If not, check it out. Does great work. He's another big fan of the dead ball era. Ken Castro says, love the regulars in this chat group. Great people out. Absolutely. If they're not, then we don't want them here. We love everyone, as long as they're polite, cordial, and respectful. The Cubs, the Bears. I'm so proud of myself. I've only messed his name up once early on. He says he 100% agrees. Ken Castro, getting closer to family status. Oh, absolutely. This is fun. Beatles Eternal. Yes, Eric's channel rocks, and it does. Eric from Higher Ground Games says, restarted by... I think he means restarted my 50th anniversary Impossible Dream season using Inside Pitch. Oh, awesome. Excellent. Look forward to that. As he does say after. I love your 78. Eric, I saw you replied back to me. I have to look at your stats for the, as you see, that's why I like everyone in my chat. And I'll get back to Eric in a second. The Cubs, the Bears says, Al, feel free to call me DCDB. I'll mess that up too, though. But thank you, my friend. Ken Castro says, oh, nice. How many games in, Eric? He says, Braves at the Phils. That's another. He does a 78 replay that I'm enthralled with, Eric does. Because that 78 season, I relive it in my head. I'm playing it over. I posted a few games of it on my channel on Digital Diamond Baseball, but I'm right now 14-12. I have lost 9 out of my last 10 games, and they're all close. My bullpen, that bullpen in 78 is horrendous. Not like totally, well, I just said horrendous. I'm going to stick with it. At least they've been horrendous for me. I have to use starting pitchers to try to get the final outs of games. And then when you get a bad start, I'm really screwed because, and I've had bad starts. Here's the funny thing with my 78 replay I'll tell you guys quickly, using Digital Diamond Baseball, which I highly recommend. Eric and myself, we'd like to see it tweaked a bit, and I don't know if Beatles agrees. There's a couple of things I think Beatles mentioned it too. I'd like to see a chance to pick off a batter. I'd like to see a chance to pitch out. And what was the other thing? Well, I don't remember it. Ken Castro says, boys, question, is there a PC game that has the 19th century clubs? Out of the park, doesn't it? They go back to 18 something, I think. Higher Ground Gaming, Eric says his 78 Red Sox are 18-9 using Strat. Yeah, and the Cubs, the Bears says out of the park, 18 starts about 1871. Yeah, I think that's the farthest they go back. Beetle says, Ken, Diamond Mine Baseball has them for free. Very cool. Action PC, Eric says, from Higher Ground Gaming. And Ken and then Beatles once again confirms Out of the Park has 1871 to 2016. And Ken Castro says, great, 2 options. Yeah, those are cool. And he says, thank you to the chat, as everyone is reading that. But I'm just going to read it out because I have to also figure out, I've seen other channels that I follow, such as Phil the Issues Guy, and he does great Game of Thrones and movie reviews and Walking Dead, but he's really big into Game of Thrones. I like Game of Thrones. I've seen other channels, too. They put the chat up and they show it, and I probably could do that, but I'm not going to fool around with that tonight. And I think I'm going to start doing that, because people might think I'm actually just talking to myself, which in a weird way I am. But so, yeah, so Eric, it'd be really cool. I'm going to probably do a video of my 78, just go through the stats. A lot of good races so far. A lot of I'm 4 games out of first place. I have the #1 offense. I've scored the most runs, have the most home runs, and my pitching is next to last in the American League. So it's been... And Butch Hobson made 3 errors in a game today, costing me a 2-1 loss. 2-1. He made 3 errors at third base. It's taking everything. I'm playing the as-played lineups. God bless you guys who do that. I find it very difficult to play the as-played lineups. I like it. I just, when things go bad, I want to start different people. Like, I would not start Butch Hobson at third base anymore. I would have a 3-way platoon with him, Brohammer, and Duffy. They kind of do it a little bit, but he is awful at third base. Awful. Ken Castro asks, what's the price of Out of the Park? It's $40. It might still be on sale for $20, Ken. Go on Steam and check it out. It might be the summer. I know the summer sale's over, but they extended their Out of the Ballpark sale. Actually, hold on a second. If the stream goes bad a little bit or blurry, it's because I'm going to go on Steam. I'm going to tell you right now. So bear with me. I'll keep talking. Eric from Higher Ground Gaming says the Sox are in first place for him. 1978 replay, 18-9. And the Cubs, the Bears says, Out of the Park 18, $40 for everything. Yeah, you get all the seasons. You can add pitchers. You don't have to add pitchers. You can add ballpark pitchers. They have all the modern ballparks, though. So if it doesn't bother you, and I'm on Steam right now, and you can't see that because I'm not as savvy as most people on OBS, I'm going to check real quick to see if it's still possibly half the price. Out of the Park. Nope, it went back to regular price. Out of the Park 17's down to $20, $19.99. But if you're going to get it, you might as well. You know what, though? I personally I would get the 18 if you're looking at it. If it's your thing. You've seen the way the game's played. I would go with the 18 because the animations are excellent. They've done so much with the animations. Unbelievable. It's $40. Last week it was still... Oh, Brian Cleveland, how are you, my friend? Beatles Eternally says Diamond Mine Baseball is $29.95. This is not my normal chat, but I found that after the games, everyone wants to talk, and I like it. And I decided, well, it says like test subscriber exhibition league, and we're gonna do that. Maybe we'll put a few innings in, but if we don't, that's fine too. Oh, Brian Cleveland says he's good. Excellent. Your Tribe are in first place, I believe, right? They've taken over first place. Unfortunately, my Boston Red Sox are not helping you out tonight. The Royals have come back to go ahead, and that ball is going to be off the Green Monster. Yeah, good job pitching. And that's going to be, oh, a wall ball single. Excellent. So I'm sorry about that, Brian Cleveland. I wish my Red Sox could win the game for you. Oh, he's a Royals fan. Then you're doing well. You're doing well. Congrats. They've been on a hot streak, the Royals. Unfortunately, the Red Sox, we have a pitcher named David Price, who I'm not too fond of. He's a crybaby. He complains about a lot of things, and he basically has led a mutiny in the clubhouse. And now he's hurt his arm, so good riddance to him. I hope he's gone for the season. Though he actually was pitching pretty good for the Red Sox, but we don't need that attitude in the clubhouse. Just my opinion as a Red Sox fan. I've been a Red Sox fan for a very long time. And any players of the like mind of David Price can also go bye-bye. Brian Cleveland says, I was at the Boston game in Kansas City, June, when we faced Sale. Cool. Beatles, if you get Diamond Mine Baseball, Eric, let me know, and I'll direct you to where you can get the 1871 to 1926 teams for free, all sanctioned by Diamond Mine Baseball. Ken Castro, Price, The Cubs, the Bears. Al, the Price is wrong. Yes, he is. He is. I'm going to tell you something. You don't, again, maybe I'm old school, and I have a happy-go-lucky attitude. I'm not a Raiders fan by any means, but I did like John Madden. I like that he said, he goes, I have 2 simple rules, I think it was, or 3. Show up on time for practice, listen to your coaches, and play hard. That's kind of the way I am. So, I mean, Dennis Eckersley, if you're not familiar, he said something about, and what Price had set him off was, Eckersley said something about Rodriguez was making a rehab start. I believe it was in Pawtucket. And he pitched bad, and Eckersley literally said it was a yucky start. And Price took, that was too harsh of criticism. So, but players are, I know there's always, and I believe there's a couple of people in the chat who do work for the media. You don't have to say who you are, but I do believe that, players do have beefs with the media, and sometimes legit, and sometimes not, but you can't be thin-skinned if you're coming to Boston. Brian Cleveland says, I have played both Action PC and Out of the Park. Both are great. Never could fully understand Diamond Mine Baseball. What don't you... I've never played Diamond Mine Baseball. What is the issue? Pros and cons, Beatles and Brian. And anyone else who's played that. I'm looking for another... I think I'm going to purchase Strat. I really don't want to because of the price, but I really want another dice game. Eric from Higher Ground Gaming. Ken, if you go to GTA.com, you can buy the Steam key for 19... Oh, excellent. I've heard about that. Yeah, you get the Steam key. Someone puts up the game, they've bought it, they're done with it, and they want to make some of their money back. Yeah, that's a good point. That's half the price, basically. That's less than half the price by cents. Beatles Eternally says, I love Diamond Mine Baseball. Beatles, can I ask you a question regarding Diamond Mine Baseball? Does it sim the games you don't play, or do you have to play them out? Eric has one of his games, which is really cool, but you can't sim any games. I apologize, I don't remember. Eric will put it in the chat. And you have to play as both teams, which is fine, but it's... Beetle says, Ken, Out of the Park 18, well worth the price. Wholeheartedly agree. Wholeheartedly agree. Beetle says it does sim them. Great. And if you're looking for, again, you have Pure Sim Baseball that Beatles turned me on. That's free. I can't believe it's free, but that's a fun game. I put a few of those on my channel. That's a fun game. So, Brian Cleveland, Diamond Mine Baseball seems too much work to get it set up. Really? That's a computer game, right? That's interesting. They don't have set lineups or things like that. And again, I'm not a big fan of as played lineups. I'm doing it for my '78 Red Sox replay and on Digital Diamond Baseball. Again, thank you to Beatles um, very much for turning me on to that game, and also Pure Sim. He says Pure Sim goes back to 1900. Okay, so who Beatles says I found that Diamond Mine Baseball to be very easy setup. Okay, well, everyone is different. So, I mean, again, there are games that PC replay baseball, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I'm glad I downloaded the demo. And I like one channel, and that website was very honest. I give them a lot of credit. They said download the game, see if you like it before you purchase it, because it's a significant expense. That was very nice of them. Brian Cleveland, I'm the same on the as-played lineups. Don't like them. Beatles Eternally, yep. And again, I'm using it's just, I'll tell you what, and you guys can see if you have the similar experiences. When you're playing a team, right? I'm doing the '78 as played. Again, I will make substitutions for pitching and pinch hitting, but I don't change the starters. I did one time for the Mets, not for the Red Sox. I did change a few things, and then I decided not to, but I did finagle their lineup a bit. Ken Cash says, I didn't like Digital Diamond Baseball. It's all preference, Ken. I enjoy it. There's a few things I want them to do. I want to see when a special... I'm getting used to it now. When a special play comes up, or a rare play, I want some sort of... I wanted some sort of indication. And there seems to be a lot of wild pitches in that game. Higher Ground Gaming. ESPN uses Digital Mind Baseball for their projections. Very interesting, really. Wow. Beatles Eternally also is not a big fan of Digital Diamond Baseball. I like it. I think it's the dice aspect of it. And that's why I'd like to get Strat. I used to play that when I was a kid. Again, I still have the board game. If I had the proper setup, I'd roll a game for ha-has, to my homage to tabletop baseball, baseball demos, and everyone else who I've watched who does that. And that takes something for them to do that. I'm going to be honest with you. Before I go to the chat. Brian Cleveland says, I still prefer the cards. Oh, absolutely. That's awesome you still do that. And Beetle says, not a fan of PC replay. I don't like it. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening. And Higher Ground Gaming also says PC replay doesn't. And I feel bad because I'm going to be honest, that site is very nice and polite. And it says try it and see if you like it. I appreciate that because it would have sucked for me to spend... Okay, if I bought the game, I want to say it's like $40 approximately. Then I'm going to buy one season. That's another, I think it's $24 if I remember right, or $20. So say you sink $60 into a game that you hate, I'd be pissed. I mean, I've done that with regular video games on the console. I don't even buy many. I use Steam. But I'm really looking. The thing with Strat, though, Brian. Oh, let me make my point about anyone who does the tabletop games, whether you're playing them online or at home. God bless you guys. You roll those dice, and then you got to look at the charts, and you figure out what's going on. That's what makes that fun. But imagine someone who's streaming that, like Earl and Earl or baseball demos, regardless of the game. I do like that Pine Tar. If Pine Tar ever comes out with a computer game, and it plays like the dice game, I'm buying it in a heartbeat. That Pine Tar is absolutely fabulous. It just, I don't know, it seems smooth to me. But just to get back to the Earl, Tabletop Baseball, and Tenacious Earl, and baseball demos, that's, what they do is not easy. They're rolling the dice, they're calling the game, they're telling you they got to look up stuff. Sometimes they might make a mistake. Cut them some slack, which everyone usually does. That's tough. I wouldn't want it. That's tough. I mean, I make mistakes, and I'm playing a computer game. Sometimes I'm not reading the thing when I'm making my call. I love doing it because I like calling the baseball game and the strategy of it. I've always loved baseball. To me, baseball is never going to die. I don't care what they say. Never. The Pine Tar comments are Higher Ground Gaming. Pine Tar is very nice. Ken Castro loved Pine Tar. See, I would definitely get, like I said, a Pine Tar baseball game for the computer. Okay, I'm going to tell you what I like about the games I have. And what I like about Out of the Ballpark Baseball 18 is, to me, I think it's got the best bang for the buck. For $40, you get everything. One shot. One shot. Does it play exact? It's a sim game. It's not going to. Does it throw you a lot of information? Yes, it does. But you can play it 3-4 different ways. So I really like that one. Action PC, I got turned on by Eric from Higher Ground Gaming and also Ron from Retro Sports. Ron Juckett, who, if you haven't subscribed to Ron Juckett and the podcast he does, they do a recap. Him and Ricky Keeler, because they have a website. They write for the Washington Nationals. They have their own website. They write for the Washington Nationals. It's oh God, what is it? I'm so bad with names. But just go to Retro Replay, I think is the name of his book. But he turned me on to Action PC. Ron's not a big fan about it. He likes it, but I think he definitely likes Action PC Baseball better. But he does. He's a wonderful. They're both wonderful sports writers, as well as another person in the chat who he did some boxing writing. I read women's boxing. It was very good, Ken. I read one the other day when I was at work. Oh, APA! I forgot about that one. Ken Castro said, did 30 plus years of APA, Brian. Brian, oh, let me go up a second. Brian says, I grew up with APA. I recently bought Strat and Replay and learning those games. Higher Ground Gaming. I've got to do more tabletop, very relaxing. Brian Cleveland, since 1985. Ken Castro says, thank you for that, Al. Yeah, you're a very good writer. But yeah, Ron Juckett, check them out. I'm telling you, we should, if they go live, right? I gotta check. We should all jump over there. They'd be ecstatic. They're such nice guys, and they do a wonder. Buster Only goes on their channel. Buster Only from ESPN. You can go on. Oh, dude, hold on, I can tell you in a second. Let me my brain sometimes, I gotta find it. It starts with a D. It's driving me nuts. Where is it? The District on Deck. And it's called the Dodcast. And there's also a website, and it's all Washington National stuff. Anyway, that's my plug for those guys. They're very nice guys. Beatles of Trin says that would be cool. Ken Castro, not big fan of 50-50 game engines, i.e. Strat. Really? Why do you think it's a 50-50 game engine? I haven't played that since I was a kid, the dice game. But I've watched it. And I don't know, Eric, if you did something with your camera, but I can see it better now. And I can see everything a little better when you're playing that last game, the 78 replay. And that's what really said, I need to pick this up. Brian Cleveland says, I'm still trying to learn to decide for myself. Yeah, you got to play the games. What sucks is they're expensive. They're not cheap. You go in with a game, you start buying some seasons and cards, and I'm not even talking about the computer games. I'm just talking about the dice games. Even the computer games, that's why, I invested a lot of money in my Action PC games. I have all of them. Baseball, football, hockey, basketball, golf. I enjoy them. So, for me to invest again in another game, I have to really want to play it. Eric from Higher Ground Gaming. I enjoy National Pastime 2. It's cards and dice and PC, kind of like APA, but with better engine. Ken Castro, National Pastime is cool. The Cubs, the Bears. I have been playing sports games for decades. Even before dice, we used a spinner for games like Nigameco. Oh boy, I butchered that. For me, out of the park is the Holy Grail, almost perfect. Like Diamond Mine Baseball also. The Cubs, the Bears. Do you remember Fran Tarkenton football? I still have that, the board game. Oh my god, I gotta find that. That would be hilarious to play that one. That was a fun game. My brother and I would play for hours. I think Fran Tarkenton football. Higher Ground Gaming. Yeah, I'm playing it on the bigger screen. Because I was able to, like, I could read the cards. You know how Earl puts the card up to the... My god, I talk with my hands. You guys can't even see me, and I'm motioning, and I'm pointing, and it's... I should get my camera up, but that would be frightening. Yeah, it was... Thank you very much, Eric, because I do like Strat. I'm just curious why... Ken, why do you think it's 50-50? If you can expand on that... expand on that thought. And Appa, Brian, what do you like about Appa? Because that's one I haven't looked at yet. Shane Sidwell in the house. How are you doing, my friend? How is Daryl? I'll be checking out. Hopefully he's streaming later. As you know, sometimes I have trouble sleeping. Shane says, I played all the Status Pro sports board games. In the basketball game on PC, they had football and basketball. Brian Cleveland, Fran Tarkenton. Wow, that's a class. Have you ever played that, Brian? That was fun. That was my uncle's game from the... Oh, God, what was the season? I want to say it was 1969 because Tarkenton is playing with the Giants. The Cubs, the Bears. Al, I remember Vince Lombardi football and early Dyson card. Oh, wow. I'll have to look that up. I don't... How did that play? And I'll tell you, Shane says hello to Beatles. Ken Castro says hello to Shane. Eric from Higher Ground Gaming. Batter rolls 1 or 3 in D6, and pitcher's card is 4 to 6 in D6. Higher Ground Gaming on Strat. Yes. The Cubs, the Bears. Now, did you ever play Fran Tarkenton football? So I think not. He says he remembers Vince Lombardi. I asked him if he remembers how that played. Ken Castro. Relievers have no effect on the game if you roll on the batter's card. Oh, that's true. Also, this topic of effectiveness has been debated for some 30 years on Strat. Now, Ken Castro brought up a really great point, because I'm doing this 1927 Yankees against the world, meaning I'm throwing pitchers, the pitchers I like who are good pitchers against them, and I play against the Yankees, obviously. But I like Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig and Tony Lazzeri and those guys. But he brought up a good point. He said that the 27 Yankees are highly overrated in Strat and APBA. Brian Cleveland. With APBA, it's super easy to learn and roll. Cons are lack of left/right split and pitcher effects. Brian Cleveland. Never played Tarkenton. Shane Sidwell. Hi, Ken. Well, let me just tell you quickly about Fran Tarkenton football, which was really fun. It was really fun. You didn't have individual player ratings. What you had was how effective the team ran a certain play. So say I'm going to Beatles. But my next one, and I think I'm going to play it after. I'm having too much fun doing this. I originally came on here. As I see, I've squirreled out. I've jumped to another subject. I originally came on here, and I think I really do want to try this. I'd like to play a game with the chat, picking what to do. Maybe just a couple innings for ha-has to see how it goes. I'm just trying to figure out logistics for our sub-league. And if someone who wants to be in our sub-league, I'm going to keep that open. It's probably going to be open for a long time, to be honest with you. We're going to start some games, hopefully next week. But if someone joins in late, it's not a big deal. We're just having fun. So, Fran Tarkenton, the way that was based was Fran Tarkenton football was based on how well a play was run. So how effective. So it didn't matter if you had starters or backups in. There was a backup rule. My brother and I, we didn't play it that way, though, that the play would go down a numerical value. And that's how that went. The Cubs, the Bears. I don't remember Tarkenton game at all. The only thing I remember about Lombardi some 50 years later is I really enjoyed it, but it went defunct quickly. Well, you'd think that would have been a good game with the name recognition. Did they have, do you remember the Cubs and Bears, if they had player ratings, or say like the power sweep is rated by the Packers at 10? You know what I mean? Ken Castro, I got my first game in 1967, LOL. I got my first real baseball game, because I used to make them up as a kid with baseball cards. 1982 or 81. It's either 81, 82, or 83. Ken Castro also... Oh, Ken Castro answers a question for Brian. He says, Master Game fixes that, Brian. Is that a whole different version, Ken, of APBA? So that's the one you recommend? I got to go on their site. I got to go on YouTube to see how that plays. I've never watched a game played. I kind of like using YouTube a lot to see if I like something, which I think a lot of people do. Ken Castro, DCDB. Oh, the Cubs, the Bears. This is my 50th year of tabletop games. I'm guessing you have played longer. That's awesome. Eric from Higher Ground Gaming. One thing I will give for Strat is the amount of research that goes into the cards. 15 plus hours of research per season. Where Strat shines is in full seasons as played replays. Brian Cleveland. I have the Master Game, but never liked it. Ken. APBA Master Game is not for everyone. And that's the key. You have to play games that you like. Don't think you have to play a game. Again, it's a game. It's not life and death. But don't think you have to play a game because other people play it. You need to sit. If you're going to take time out, you want to enjoy it. Just like if you want to go eat ice cream. If you don't like vanilla ice cream, why are you going to eat vanilla ice cream? You know? That's just my humble opinion. So, I have another question for the chat. Would you guys like to do what we're doing now at some point in Google Hangout, where we can actually talk as opposed to people listening to Al Red Sox fan read everything? That's just a thought, throwing it out there to my absolutely wonderful friends I have in the chat. Ken Castro, outliers do not get their due in Strat. Not in the sweet spot of the bell curve. I think I messed that up. Outliers. No, I said that right. Do not get the sweet spot of the bell curve. Beatles Eternally, sure, but we do love your melodic. I can't even pronounce that word, Beatles. It's something to do with melody. I get that. Your melodious voice. Well, thank you very much, Beatles. I take that as a compliment. Shane Sidwell, very true, Ken. So, what was one of your most disappointing games? Meaning, like, you bought it and it doesn't have to be a sports game, but what was something you bought and you went, God, I hate this game? And sports games are expensive. I'm going to tell you, mine was, as a kid, mine was a sports game. I bought Strat, I think it was Strat Basketball. And it just does not, I don't know, Strat Basketball just, to me, didn't play well when I was a kid. It didn't play like baseball. Baseball is just so made to be played as a board game or a computer game. You know, with all the statistics. Ken Castro, LOL, I had Strat Basketball. How did you like that? I didn't like it at all. It sucked because I spent a lot of my money as a kid to get that game. Ken Castro says Strat Hockey, very disappointing. Now that being said, I love Action PC Basketball. It's not the most visually appealing thing, but I do like that. I also had that Draft Day Sports Basketball. The Cubs, the Bears says, Ken, first game played was All-Star Baseball, spinner game with all-time players like Ruth and Cobb in the late 50s as a kid. Awesome. Shane Sidwell, Status Pro for PC allowed you to enter stats and it would create player cards. That's kind of cool. Brian Cleveland, Apple football still takes me 3 hours to play a game. Don't want to do a season when it takes the same time for a real game. LOL. Football games seem to play long. I have Action PC football. I absolutely love it. But that takes no lie the way I play it, because I play everything talking it out, thinking it out. Even when I'm playing, I don't put many of those games on. I tried putting quarters on. I got views. Then I found out what people did was just go to the last quarter. Then I did it in halves. I mean, you talk about even playing quickly. For me, that's an hour each half. That's 2 hours. I enjoy playing it, but I hear what you're saying, Brian. Football games play longer. Oh my God, Ken Castro says bowling. They had a bowling sim game. DADB. Oh my God. Oh, that's the Cubs, the Bears, I think. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Oh, one of the games I was very pleasantly surprised with was Title Bout Boxing. Title Bout Boxing, the board game, played that for hours. Used to set up heavyweight tournaments, middleweight tournaments, lightweight tournaments, fights that never happened. And I have the computer game, which is absolutely fabulous. Love it. It plays, again, there's no, that was the Title Bout Boxing was a card flipping game. Brian Cleveland, what was that basketball you just mentioned a minute ago? Are you talking to me, Brian? It was Action PC, and also they have both pro and college. Yes, Action PC does. You have to buy. The game is the same, but you have to buy different seasons. Also, there is Draft Day Sports. That's a fun one. Much cheaper. You get every season after 76. Appa Boxing PC was great. I went looking for that. I couldn't find that online. And Ken Castro says, can't find the disc in this mess, LOL. Brian Cleveland, no, Action PC. Do you mean no to Action PC, or you meant Action PC? Action PC is fun. Again, Action PC games aren't cheap. Nothing is. And what I do is I wait for a sale to come, and I probably overspend, but I grab everything I possibly can that fits in my budget for that month when it's on sale. Brian Cleveland, yes, I have. Yes, I've had Draft Day. Love it. It's a fun game. I've played some of that. The Cubs, the Bears. Also, Al, I also like Pursue the Pennant board game. Ooh, I never heard of that one. From the 1990s. I love the Pine Tar. I know I keep going back to it. It almost wanted me to go buy Pine Tar. It looks so much fun to play. And a couple of people I know, I think Ken has it. I know the Earl, not Tenacious Earl number 1 as I call him. He has it, and I just love. He's just doing that 73 Red Sox replay, and I sit there like it's a real game, and I root. I know that sounds silly, but I enjoy it. And I don't care if it sounds silly. I'm having a good time. Ken Castro's have about 45 bucks to spend deciding a soccer blast or PC baseball game. Ken, do you have if you like soccer, do you have what's that? Football Manager. That's a computer game. Shane said, well, I used to love high heat baseball. Ken Castro, PTP was awesome. Brian Cleveland, I almost bought Pursue the Pennant in 85. Brian Cleveland, but I got Appa instead. Beatles Eternally, Out of the Park 18, Ken. I think you'll like that one, Ken. And you can go on YouTube, you can check my channel, which you do, but you can check other gameplay. I think I give you a really... There's a lot, too, out of the ballpark. You can do as much as you want, as least as you want. I like it. Ken Castro, did the Phillies 91 replay with Pursue... Oh, Ken Castro says, did a Phillies 91 replay with Pursue the Pennant. How did that turn out, my friend? Brian Cleveland, how about hardball baseball? I don't remember that one. My favorite baseball video game was on PlayStation 2. It was EA Sports 2007, I think. And that was just awesome. I played that for hours. Again, that's a video game. Ken Castro, PTP turned to Destiny League Baseball. Owner is not customer friendly. That does stink. You put money up and you ask a question, and they're not customer friendly. Do they think that's good for business? I mean, that's just awful. Wow, Ken Castro says Phillies replay was statistically, right on the money. That's the 1991 Phillies. Now, Ken, did you play as-played lineups? As I've stated, I'm not a big fan of as-played lineups. Shane Sidwell, I played a baseball game at the arcade, loved it, and it kept your stats. Can't remember the name of it. That's cool. Ken says, Keith from Play is awesome. Shane Sidwell, wasted many quarters, as we all did, Shane. Those damn arcades took my money. And Ken Castro says, yes, as played. I find it difficult with my 78 Red Sox as played using Digital Diamond Baseball because Butch Hobson is an error machine. And as a kid, me screaming at the TV, get him out, I kind of mumble that when I'm playing the game. He committed 3 errors on me today, and I lost the game. The Cubs, the Bears. Forgot to mention Earl Weaver PC game from way back in the day was much fun. Oh my God, Earl Weaver. You guys, you probably have seen this. If not, when you get a chance, YouTube Earl Weaver, and I think it was called the Earl Weaver TV or pre-game show or post-game show. I think it was a pre-game show. And he's talking to a reporter about Terry Crowley, and it's utterly the most hilarious thing you'll ever hear. He must have F-bombed every other word. Ken Castro says, hopefully going to Toronto for the Play.com hockey gathering tournament in November. Awesome. Shane Sidwell, Earl Weaver, Tony La Russa. Oh, yeah, Tony La Russa had a baseball game. Yeah, I think he did. Beatles Eternally, multi-arcade machine emulator. Was that the name of the baseball game? Oh, it was, because Shane says, thanks, Beatles. Beatles Eternally is just a wealth of knowledge, not just music knowledge, but just knowledge in general. Eric from Higher Ground Gaming. Remember to check out Higher Ground Gaming and Eric. If you don't subscribe, you should. He does a lot of great retro sports stuff along with other things, and you get to see Mr. Brody as co-host. He says, Tony La Russa baseball was decent too. Beatles Eternally. I still play old-time baseball. The Cubs, the Bears. Ken, I did several replays on PTP. I'm missing what PTP is. Someone, so I'll just say PTP, and found it quite accurate also. Excellent. Very good. So are we up to try? Forget it. We won't do it. I was going to try a game with people in the chat, but I think this is a good time. We'll stick with this. I'm going to look up some baseball trivia. Let's see how good we are. Of course, I'll know the answers, but Higher Ground Gaming with Eric. I also liked high school baseball on PC 989 Sports. I never. Oh, Pursue the Pennant. You did mention that, Ken. I'm sorry. You did mention that. I just couldn't recall. So, High Heat was great. I never played High Heat. Was that a video game or a board game? What's the game that Earl just played and Demos Baseball plays it too, where they go, is the batter hot or is the batter cold? What's that one called? That always interests me. Because I wonder how they, like, is the guy a lollygagger or something? I forgot how they say it. It was a video game. Okay. Tenacious Earl, History Maker. Okay, Ken, I got a question about History Maker or anyone else. To anyone else, I'm just curious. I enjoy watching it. I don't think I'd like playing it, but I love watching it. I like pretty much anyone who's playing a baseball game, I'll sit and watch if they're entertaining. What do they actually have? Like it? Okay, like I'm trying to think of a player. Okay, Ken, you'll like this player I pick. Say Dave Kingman. Do they actually would they call him a sad sack? I mean, do they go off the personality, or is that just random? Is that a random choice? Eric also says, I like History Maker. So anyone in the chat, you know, like how it's mostly based, it seems like on personality of the team, how the team's, and that's interesting to me. That's the first time I've ever seen that. I think was on demos, baseball demos, and then Tenacious Earl just played it. Higher Ground Gaming, based on stats. So how do they come up with if he's a sad sack, like? Qualities are based off actual, okay. That's interesting. Higher Ground Gaming, Home Run King and Whiffer. That make I get it. See, that's why I wanted to use Dave Kingman, because I wanted to understand, which is very accurate. Dave Kingman was either going to hit the ball out of the ballpark or he was going to strike out. The Cubs, the Bears says, History Maker golf is somewhat laborious like the baseball game, but it's also very, very interesting. I know. That's what I'm saying, the Cubs, the Bears. I don't think I'd like to play it, but I enjoy watching it. I love what, especially when they have to call, like, is this guy a sad sack? I just find that interesting. But that makes sense. I use Dave Kingman as an example because, you know, he was a home run hitter. He did, I forgot what season, he hit like 286 one year, too. Higher Ground Gaming. There's a formula you can use to create players from baseball cards. I used to do that as a kid in History Maker. That's very cool. As a kid, I used to make up my own baseball games, just using like the back of a player's card and stuff like that. They actually had, I think Topps actually had a baseball game. I forgot what year it was. It was built in to the card, and you would flip the card and it would tell you what the guy did. Shane said, well, many years ago, I bought a baseball game that had a small player card with pitchers on the front and was from the late 60s, early 70s at a yard sale. Don't have it now, but can't remember the name. That sounds like a really fun game for that day and age. Ken Castro, Flash are high K pitchers, for example. Is that in History Maker? Control low walk guys. That makes sense. I mean, again, so they're just doing it with verbalization as opposed to, I mean, they are using numbers, but then they use a description, if I'm understanding that right. Excuse me. Ken Castro. Then there are semi-qualities to fine-tune the eventual stats. Eric from Higher Ground Gaming. Were they round cards, Shane? Oh, so he's asking about that other game. Okay, cool. Ken says, been playing History Maker been playing History Maker since 2013. Shane says, no, they're not round cards. Ken Castro, no numbers on the cards, just qualities. Right, and then you go to a chart, right? I've watched them play, then they look at a chart. Because they roll the dice, there's a dice with a black dot on it. Again, I'm not an expert on it, I've watched a couple. It's to me, it's fun to watch. I think my favorite game that the people I watch on YouTube, I like that Pine Tar a lot. I really do. If they come out with a computer version of that, Higher Ground Gaming, a book, yes. So it's the book they look at. I know they look at something. It's just, I like that Pine Tar. 3 die, yes. What's the dice with the black dot for, though? And Baseball Demos explains the whole thing. He has a wonderful job of doing that. Ken Castro, History Maker Baker, not a 50-50 game engine. That's why I like it. Eric from Higher Ground Gaming. Anyone ever try Dice Baseball? As my dad's yelling for them to send the runner home in the real baseball game. Decide or die. What does the black spot mean? Is that like a bad thing? And then I'll get off my History Maker Baseball. I'm sorry. I'm just curious. I have you guys in the chat, so I'm curious about it. So, what about? All right, we're over an hour in this chat. Would you guys like to continue this, or it's up to you guys? It's your call. The Cubs and Bears says, Ken, totally agree with you on the 50-50 games. Brian Cleveland, who makes Dice Baseball? I've never heard of that one. I used to play, my God, I used to love baseball so much. I used to be able to buy a game at like the dollar store, or it's the 5 and dime actually then. And it was like that little, you roll the dice, that it actually said like if it was a single or a home run or a double play, and you had these little pegs and you put them in the board. My God, I used to use my baseball cards. Like I said, I modified it slightly. Is that what you're talking about? Dice Baseball? Oh, Ken Castro also had a Dice Boxing from Gen 1400. Eric from Higher Ground Gaming. George is the guy's name, and I've chatted with him on Board Game Geek. Interesting. I'll throw this out to the chat, since it's baseball chat. Favorite baseball movie? What are some of your favorite baseball movies? Oh, that's funny. This is the Cubs, the Bears. Al, if that 9-year-old kid from Tabletop Stream joins us now, we would all probably sound like aliens. Oh, absolutely. That's hilarious. They missed out on a lot. I guess I'm an old fuddy-duddy. So I've asked what's the favorite baseball movie, and a lot, Eric, Higher Ground Gaming. Remember to check out Higher Ground Gaming with Eric and Mr. Brody. Field of Dreams. Ken Castro, Field of Dreams. Brian Cleveland, Field of Dreams. Beatles Eternally, Field of Dreams. Bang the Drum Slowly with Robert De Niro. What was his name? Is it Moriarty? And the guy who was on Laverne and Shirley and played the father. There's a lot. Danny Aiello was also in Bang the Drum Slowly. And Beatles also says For the Love of the Game. Okay. Oh, I like them all. And the Cubs and the Bears puts a one I watch all the time when it's on. 8 Men Out. Just absolutely. What a cheap owner. Wow, what was it? Comiskey. Great movie. Beatles says, oh, in Pastime. I don't remember that one. Sandlot. Great movie. With the kids. No one's mentioned one of my all-time favorites yet. Sort of like Sandlot. The original Bad News Bears with Walter Matthau. Love that movie. If that's not Little League personified when I grew up, absolutely wonderful. I mean, it's because it's not PC, that movie. I mean, when I was a kid, we swore all the time. Not all the time, but you know what I mean. Shane Sidwell, Sandlot, and Bull Durham, excellent movies. Brian Cleveland loved 8 Men Out. I like 8 Men Out a lot. I like The Natural. I shall be right back. I'm back. Thank you very much. Let me jump in the chat again. I missed some stuff. Brian Cleveland loved 8 Men Out. You throw like a girl. Best insult ever, you throw like a girl. Bad News Bears, Brian Cleveland, awesome, ha ha ha. L7 Weenie. The Cubs and Bears, made for TV movie 61 was quite good. Oh, the HBO, the Billy Crystal one? That was excellent. One of the worst baseball movies ever, and anyone, and you know if you've seen it, Fear Strikes Out. God awful movie. The baseball was horrendous in that movie. Anthony Perkins, look, he definitely threw like a girl, and that's an insult to girls who can actually throw. And I apologize for that, but he threw off. My God, he had no athletic ability. Oh, 61 was really good if he's talking about the HBO movie that Billy Crystal did. Beatles Eternally says, I was disappointed in 42. I haven't seen that yet. Higher Ground Gaming. Mr. Brody likes Sandlot 2 with the big dog. Of course Mr. Brody does. Oh, Gary Cooper. Lou Gehrig. Pride of the Yankees. Excellent movie. Beatles says, yep. So was the Babe Ruth story. I like the one, not the one with Bendix. That was good. That's way back when in black and white. But John Goodman played Babe Ruth in a movie. I thought that was all right. I like most. The Natural. I love The Natural. That's one of my all-time favorites. What was the one with Tom Selleck? Mr. Baseball. That was a fun one. Bernie Mac did one. I think that was Mr. 3000. I'm trying to think. I think the only baseball movie I really and I'm sure there's others, but the one, Fear Strikes Out was just awful. The Cubs and Bears. Yep, glad you liked 61 also, Al. It was Billy Crystal. And Barry Pepper, who played Roger Maris, I think, or it was the guy who played Mickey Mantle. One of them wasn't. Oh, I think it was the guy who played Mickey Mantle because he couldn't switch hit. And they actually would turn the camera. They did a camera, like, instead of running to first, he would run to third. And they made the camera backwards. And they put the numbers on backwards to make it look like he was batting. Maybe it was Maris, but it was really funny. It was smart to make it look like the guys could actually play. Oh, Major League. How could I forget Major League? Absolutely awesome. The first one. I didn't know that was his wife, Charlie Sheen. Major League was great, the first one. Shane said, well, yep, Mr. Baseball. I like that one. I like. Bull Durham was mentioned. Yep, that's a good one. Oh, boy. Beatles brought up Bang the Drum Slowly. That's another good one, an older one. Higher Ground Gaming. Inside Pitch quotes just a bit outside from Bob Uecker on Wild Pitch. That was so funny the first time. And that movie came out in 89. I think it's a year before the Cleveland went on their run. I think Cleveland, they have a 10-year run where they made the playoffs or something like that. Brian Cleveland, ball 4, ball 8, ball 12. The first League of Their A League of Their Own. I like that one. That's one I watch a lot. Remember this quote? I loved you in The Wizard of Oz. But Major Leagues was just hilarious. Hats with Bats. Shane said, well, women, you can't live with them, and they can't pee standing up. Beatles, the bingo long traveling all-star baseball king. Oh, yeah, the Negro League with Billy Williams. Oh, my God, I went blank. The voice of Darth Vader, the guy from Roots. Oh, my God. Haley. No, that's the author, Alex Haley. Oh, my God. He was in Sandlot. Why? I can see him. James Earl Jones, who also played Jack Johnson in The Great White Hope, which was basically about Jack Johnson, the movie, which was a very good movie. Not a lot of boxing in it, but it was a very interesting movie. Whether you like Jack Johnson or not, you kind of got it. I mean, it's because of the times. He really got a raw deal. So, Greg Garecki in the chat. We're not really playing a game. I was gonna play a game trying to get the chat involved, trying to figure out our sub league, but I'm having too much fun. Unless you guys want to stop this, I'm having too much fun doing this. No one's going to watch this stream later on, but I don't care. Oh, Shane. That's, yep. F you, Jobu. I'll do it myself. The Cubs, the Bears. Tom Hanks, the manager in League of Their Own, was loosely based on Hall of Famer Jimmy Fox. That is correct. That is correct. I love League of Their Own. I love League of Their Own. Beatles Eternally. LOL, Shane. Love it, man. Greg Gorecki. Great one, Shane. Greg, any Canadian football update from the north, my friend? Give us a Canadian football update. Any good Canadian Football League games tonight? Any Saturday night games? My dad is now yelling at the TV for the Red Sox game. I don't know what's going on because I shut the game off in here. I should turn it back on to find out. They must have tied it up, though. Dad, did they tie the game up? They did tie it up. That's my dad chiming in. My co-host. Al Red Sox senior fan. They tied it up. So they got to be in extra innings about now. Oh, Greg Gorecki with our Canadian League football update. Saskatchewan 38, Toronto 27. What's Saskatchewan's nickname? Toronto's the Argonauts. I know that because I believe Doug Flutie played. That was one of the teams he played for. Eric from Higher Ground Gaming. I met Tom Hanks at Fenway Park after a rain delay, just after he made A League of Their Own. Please tell me he was a nice guy. That would disappoint me if he wasn't. Beatles, he says, guys, I'm up all night and a gig tomorrow evening, so I need to hit the sack, so have fun. Beatles, always a great time. Thank you very much for joining us in the chat here on something different. I decided to do this, and I think it's been a success. So, Beatles, health, happiness, God bless, my friend. Have a good gig tomorrow. Greg Gorecki. Halftime, Calgary Stampeders 39, Hamilton Tiger Cats 1. Now, Greg, to get 1 point, that is if you don't let someone return the ball out of the end zone on a punt or a kickoff. Am I correct? Brian Cleveland says goodnight, Beatles. Everyone's saying goodnight to Beatles. Shane, Ken, Beatles Eternal. Hanks is the same religion as I am. Higher Ground Gaming. He says Hanks was a nice guy. He shook my hand. That's awesome. Beatles says, thanks, guys. It's always fun. Thank you, Beetle. Thank you. It wouldn't be fun without the great people we have here in our little chat community. Ken Castro. Greg, where are you in Canada? Brian Cleveland. Hey, Greg, how about BC? That's British Columbia. Oh, what are their names? Lions. Are they the BC Lions? Greg Gorecki. Met Tom at the Grey Cup a few years ago. The Cubs, the Bears, Beatles, Strawberry Fields Forever. Oh, great line. Good night. Great line by the Cubs, the Bears. Beatles, Strawberry Fields Forever. Good night. Very poetic there. Greg Gorecki. Yes, you are. Eric from Higher Ground Gaming. Good night, Beatles. Shane Sidwell. We had pretty good quarterback from Canada a couple of years ago. Forgot what college he went to. So the Red Sox have to win this game to stay a half game behind the you-know-who, Evil Empire, the New York Yankees. Greg Gorecki. BC lost last night, 37-26 to Edmonton. Brian Cleveland says okay. Alright, here's one. Best hockey movie. This should be a slam dunk. Basically, it's the only good hockey. Well, there's a few other good hockey movies. My favorite hockey movie of all time, Slapshot, the original, Paul Newman. I own that movie. I watch that movie once a year, if not more. That movie has so many funny lines. Not for everybody, a bit raunchy. But I'm telling you, when your kids get old enough, if they like sports movies, and it's up to you when you feel, oh my God, that's just a movie you can laugh your ass off at. Mighty Ducks, that's a nice movie too. Shane Sidwell, I worked at Fort Union Military Academy. We have a PG football program. Ken Castro watched Slapshot at least 300 times. And what's funny about Slapshot, and Mighty Ducks was good too with Emilio Estevez. What's funny about Slapshot is just, it's minor league hockey, and they're trying to make money any way possible. And if you remember, and you probably do, the movie starts off with the goalie, and he's at the TV station, and he's explaining the rules to the guy, and he keeps whacking him with his stick. And he kept going, and you're just some English pig. And it's just Slapshot's just great. The Hanson brothers, absolutely awesome. Greg Direcky, the Paul Newman character was based on a former Maple Leafs coach, John Brophy. Did I pronounce that right, Greg? B-R-O-P-H-Y, I believe Brophy. Ken Castro, John Brophy and the Bingham Bulls, LOL. Wow. Oh, yes. Eric from Higher Ground Gaming. Miracle was good, too. Yep. Kurt Russell played... Oh, crap. I can't think of the coach's name. I can picture him. I can't think of his name. Oh, wow. I hate looking up stuff. I try to use my mind to remember. Yeah. Herb Brooks. Thank you. Thank you, Greg. That's one of my favorite sports moments of all time, and I didn't even realize I was watching it on a replay. Imagine that game. 80 Olympics. USA is playing the Soviet Empire in hockey, and that game's not even shown live. Maybe because they thought the Soviets were going to kill the USA because they destroyed them at Madison Square Garden a couple of times in practice games, I guess, if I remember correctly. Shane Sidwell, how about the basketball movie with the Celtics? Funny as heck. Is that the one with Dan Aykroyd? That was funny. The Cubs and Bears. Al, if you get to basketball movies, The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh and Dr. J. Nuff said, oh, we can talk about anything, the Cubs and Bears. I'm going to tell you a funny basketball movie. It's with Gabe Kapler. Gabe, Welcome Back Kotter. Yeah, Gabe Kapler. Was right? Same name as the baseball player. Am I messing that up? Hoosiers, excellent. I love Hoosiers. But it's, oh, God. Gabe Kapler. God, is that his real... The guy who played Welcome Back Kotter, he's basically he understands basketball, and he coaches either high school basketball, or used to coach high school basketball, and he goes and he coaches a junior college, and he brings these 3 players from Fast Break. That's it. That movie is hilarious. And that ball's gone. Oh, I spoke too soon. I thought Benintendi just hit. I thought Hanley Ramirez just hit a walk-off, but nope, it hung up. It hung up. Benintendi's at first. Anyway, the Fast Break is hilarious. Very 70s-ish movies. I don't know if the young people would like it. Hilarious. Off-color humor. Once again, they use some terminology. Some terminology is not very friendly towards stuff. So, if you're offended easily, don't watch the movie. Eddie was funny with Whoopi. That's when she's the Knicks coach, I believe, right, Greg? Shane Sidwell, that's right. The Celtic Pride, I think it was called. And Shane, they kidnapped a jazz player who was one of the Wayans brothers, who I can't think of. I can picture it, but it was a Wayans brother playing the jazz player. Heaven is a Playground. I don't know that movie. Oh, here's a good football movie, because I see Heaven. Heaven Can Wait. not so much, I mean, it's based around football, but with Warren Beatty, and he's jogging and he gets killed. The Angel made a mistake, and they destroyed his body, and they had to find him a new body, which was a remake of an old movie about a boxer. They didn't call it Heaven Can Wait. I can't remember what it was called. But it was an old movie about a boxer. They did it as a football next time. Back to basketball movies. Ken, I missed something here. Greg Reckon says, honestly, I don't remember, Ken. Greg, do you play any hockey? Honestly, I missed that. The Cubs, the Bears. Al, good call. Fast Break was so 70s, but very cool. Oh, it was on Netflix. I don't know if it was still on there. I watched it last year. I watched it like 3 times because I hadn't seen it in so many years. Okay, Greg Gorecki has the original Heaven Can Wait title. He says, did you see the original? Here comes Mr. Jordan. That's the one with the boxer, right, Greg? Because that was a good movie, too. I'm going to tell you another funny sports movie. I don't think you'll think it as a sports movie because it's Abbott and Costello meet the Invisible Man, and it's based around a boxer. That was fun. I'm a big Abbott and Costello fan. And Greg Recky says yes. Brian Cleveland says, I'm off for now, guys. Catch you soon. Take care, Brian. Thank you very much for stopping by. I'm sorry I didn't do a baseball game. I was going to do a baseball game, but I thought just to do a chat. And my original idea, as you see, it says Action PC Baseball Test for Subscriber League Exhibition. Wow, I spelled exhibition wrong the second time. Gonna have to fix that. And it says Test of Upcoming Subscriber League Exhibition. Well, we haven't really done that, have we? Because Al, Red Sox fan's a squirrel. Changes his mind. And the Red Sox have runners at first and second now. And the catchers come out to talk to the Orioles. So, Brian, not looking good for your Orioles right now in extra innings. But thank you very much, my friend. Take care, buddy. Health and happiness. God bless. Greg Gorecki. That was Wilfredo Benitez in his prime. What did I miss, Greg? Wilfredo Benitez in his prime. Heck, Brian Cleveland, dang it. They'll probably come back and win, though, Brian. Don't worry. The Royals, that is. High ground game. I like the... Oh, my God. The Bowery Boys, Eric. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. The Bowery Boys. Satch and Slip and Satch, right? And then the others. Hunt's Hall was... Slip. And Satch... Was Satch Hunt's Hall? The Bowery Boys was awesome. I try to find them on YouTube. Every once in a while I get lucky. My favorite one is with Bela Lugosi, where they think he's the murderer. Oh, the Bowery Boys. They started out as the dead-end kids in a Humphrey Bogart movie. No, not Humphrey Bogart. Either James Cagney or Humphrey Bogart. Greg Gorecki, Invisible. Yep, The Invisible Man. Abbott and Costello. Great. It's really a good boxing movie, to be honest with you. And it's funny. So, that ball is going foul. Damn. Anyway. Yeah. Bowery Boys. Funny. We had a channel way back when out of Connecticut. And on Sundays they had the double feature. You get an Abbott and Costello movie, and then you got the Bowery Boys. And that was so much fun. As we go down memory lane, and anyone past a certain age is going to sit here, as the Cubs, the Bears said, and think we're aliens for what we're talking about. So, the Bowery Boys. Oh, here's a good football movie. No one mentioned this one. Did we get the football? I don't think we did we? Anyway, any sports movies. The original Longest Yard. That was wicked funny. Burt Reynolds as the quarterback. Soundtrack. What was the song he had? It was from in the beginning when he dishes the car. Mr. Saturday Night Special, I think. Sip of coffee. Greg Gurecki, he broke my freaking nose. And that's Jaws from, as I look to see what's going on. Benintendi's at third now, 90 feet away from giving the Red Sox a win. Shane, take care, my friend. Thank you very much for stopping by. Hopefully we see you again soon. I'm sorry, no game. I'll definitely do a game tomorrow, I think. Shane, if you want, we're doing a subscriber league. One of my out of the ballpark videos from a few games ago. If you want, you can put a team in. I'm trying to figure out the logistics still, but Richard Kyle. Was that his real name, Greg? Shane says, great fun. Thank you. And you know what makes it great fun is everyone in the chat. So that's what makes it great fun. I found that on Saturday. I wish Andre Ford was here. He must be busy because I found on Saturdays we had a lot of good chats after I did a game. And I thought, Shane says, okay, I'll take, if you want. It's not a big deal. Higher ground game. Tim Tebow's on a mission movie. Very inspiring. I've not seen that, but I like Tim Tebow. I like Tim Tebow a lot. I liked watching him play football, even in the pros. I enjoyed it. I thought he could win. I'm not saying he was. I understand his stats. To me, he was a winner. I always liked how people put Tim Tebow down. Like when he beat Pittsburgh in the playoff game. Oh, he only threw a 15 or whatever it was, a 12-yard slant. The point is he threw it. Was he, anyway. Oh, Greg Gurecki. Happy Gilmore. The golf movie. Oh. Caddyshack. Caddyshack. Spalding, you'll get nothing and you'll like it. Caddyshack. That's a great sports movie. And funny. I mean, sports movies can be anything. Ken Castro, you make an excellent point. And again, I don't care who you like, you don't like, but I don't understand. Ken says, people put Tebow down, yet back Kaepernick. And again, everyone, you have your own right to choose what you like, and I don't care. I'm just saying, nothing bad, and we could be wrong. Maybe he's a serial killer. I don't know the man personally. Everything I've read, seen, you know what? I always liked Tim Tebow, even in college. Didn't follow him like I did when I was in the pros, because everyone was against him. I'm like, why is everyone against this guy? He doesn't do anything wrong. I'm not saying he's the best quarterback. He's not. He's a hell of an athlete. But and again, I don't care if you like either one, don't like either one. It's not a big deal to me. I'm just saying I like Tim Tebow. I always have. I just don't understand. The thing when they asked someone what Tim Tebow's really like, and he was a former Florida player, and they're trying to get him to say something bad about him. He goes, I'll tell you about Tim Tebow. He goes, I was driving somewhere with my car, and I see Tim Tebow's car pulled over, and he's playing with the kids in the park. 2 hours later, I'm coming back the same way, and who's there still? Tim Tebow. So, anyway, that's a big A1 in my book, so that's cool. Back to movies. Eric from Higher Ground, Caddyshack. There was a really good golf movie with Jack Lemmon, but he was older. He was thinking back. I think he was the caddy in the movie as a kid. The Game? Is it called The Game? And was... Oh, The Game. Yep, that's true, Eric. They don't like him because he says and does what he believes. Well, Greg says if you had to choose, you don't have to choose anyone. Again, I don't care if someone likes or dislikes. I'm just saying I don't understand. There are other people to really dislike in the world, or just ignore, I guess. I'm not even going to say dislike. Okay? I'll be nice tonight. And it's mind-boggling how there's so much venom towards him. It makes me laugh. Oh, he's trying baseball now. Who cares? Does it bother you? Does it bother you? And I don't mean people in the chat. And if it bothers you, that's fine. I'm just saying, how do you get worked up over Tim? He's never done. He's done so many nice things. I don't get it. I don't. And I'm not the most wonderful person. I'm just saying, I don't get it. Anyhow, there was a golf movie, and I think Will Smith was in it. Will Smith was a caddy, and it was like a historical movie, but sort of. Oh God, that was a good. That was a good golf movie. Happy Gilmore. Ken Castro says agree, Al. Greg Gorecki, I don't dislike anyone. I mean, sometimes we're not thrilled with people. I try not to dislike people. I can't lie. There are people I don't like. I'm not gonna lie, but I try to be a better person. I really do. I try. Doesn't always work that way, Greg and Ken. It doesn't. I'm not perfect. Greg Gorecki, That's it. Ledger of Bagger Vance. I like that movie. That was a good golf movie. We said, Longest Yard. Great lines in Longest Yard. We brought some of that up. A lot of football players in that one. You had Ray Nitschke, Joe Kapp. You had, that big guy from, he probably was a football player. Well, actually, Burt Reynolds was a football player in college, Florida State. I want to say the Seminoles. I want to say Burt Reynolds played for the Greg Gorecki. Greatest game ever played. You know what? I might be getting two of them mixed up now. I've seen both the golf movies. The Florida State, thank you, the Cubs, the Bears. I think he was a running back. My dad's friend played with him at Florida State. My dad was telling me some stories the other day. Yep. Ken Castro, who I don't like, people who you get. I started something. I'm sorry. Okay. Let me see. Ken Castro says, who I don't like, people who you let go on the highway and don't say, oh my God. Ken, you're absolutely right. That drives me nuts. Seriously, lazy to do that. You brought up poorly, LOL. Or the people you let cross the street who don't wave thank you. Pool movies. Color of Money. What's the one with shoot pool fast, Eddie? Hustler. The Hustler. Hustler. Paul Newman and To the Moon, Alice. Jackie Gleason. Greg Gorecki. Heaven Can Wait. Had Deacon Jones. Les Joseph. Greg, Les Joseph, was he a running back? Jack Snow was a wide receiver for the Rams. Les Joseph. The Cubs, the Bears. I despise people with more than 10 items in the fast food checkout line. We have 12, so I agree with you. The Hustler. Yeah, shoot pool fast, Eddie. What about this one? Not really a sports movie, but there was sort of a sporting event. And Greg Gorecki says, yes, Les Joseph was a running back. 34. Cool Hand Luke. The egg eating contest. The boiled egg eating contest in Cool Hand Luke. So, another Paul Newman movie. Great boxing movie. Someone up there likes me. That Rocky Graziano story. The middleweight, Rocky Graziano. Paul Newman. So he's been in quite a few, and he did a racing movie too. So Paul Newman did a boxing movie. The biography of Rocky Graziano. Someone up there likes me. He did Slapshot. He did a racing movie, a car racing movie. I don't remember. Or am I getting him mixed up with Steve McQueen with the car? Actually, Steve McQueen is also in Someone Up There Likes Me. That's his first movie ever. He is a ruffian on the gang fight on the rooftop. Raging Bull, very good movie. I like Rocky Graziano much better than Jake LaMotta. Rocky Graziano, from what I've read, seen, and talked to people about, was a much nicer human being. It's funny, they both grew up tough. And Jake LaMotta seems to turn his light. Requiem for a Heavyweight. Excellent movie. Anthony Quinn. Greg Gurecki. Willie Mosconi. Yes. Yeah, he was the guy who finally beats him. Requiem for a Heavyweight. That was excellent. I also like The Harder They Fall, loosely based on the Primo Carnera story. Primo Carnera is a very interesting story. I dug deeper into that. Again, I'm lucky enough to know through my dad, who's a barber, to know Jack Sharkey's grandson. And I used to ask him all kinds of questions. And he says to this, because some people think Primo Carnera, the heavyweight championship fight, he thinks it was fixed. And it wasn't. Go watch the tape. But whatever. And I asked him, and he goes, nope, my grandfather always said he hit me. So, was that really Humphrey Bogart's final film? The Harder They Fall? Because he played a sports writer, a New York sports writer, and they brought him on because they needed legitimacy. And the fighter's name was Mountain Rivera from Argentina, I believe. I haven't seen that movie in a long time. Great movie. Requiem for a Heavyweight. Excellent movie. And again, that had Anthony Quinn. And was it Mickey Rooney? Was Mickey Rooney in that? Greg Gurecki. He died of cancer during the film. I knew he passed away from cancer. Lots of good. Oh, here's another. The Champ. Jon Voight. And then the original had the guy who played Long John Silver. I can't think of his name. Walter. Something Berry. No, that's not right. Bill Murray from Caddyshack. Oh, Sandy, I want... Right. This is a great quote. Eric has brought this up. Great quote. Sandy says, I want you to kill every gopher on the course, Carl Speckler. Check me if I'm wrong, Sandy, but if I kill all the golfers, they're going to lock me up and throw away the key. That's awesome. That is awesome. Way to pull that one out, Eric. That is such a funny... That movie's awesome. Greg Gurecki. Yes, it was Mickey Rooney. Okay. Wallace Berry, thank you. I think he played Long John Silver, right? In Treasure Island. They look similar. I used to watch... There used to be a thing on PBS. They used to call it Matinee at the Bijoux. Show a lot of old movies. And also the Saturday Night movie I used to watch. Oh, you know what's another? A fun boxing movie? It was a comedy. Barbara Streisand and Ryan O'Neal. I can't think of the name. Knockout, Punch Out. That was a fun boxing movie. And the guy from Sanford and Son who played Grady. I'm sure other people too. Here's a fun boxing movie. Tough Enough with Dennis Quaid, where it was a tough man contest, and he was trying to win so he could get his musical career going. He was a country singer. I liked that one. I used to watch that one a lot. That was a fun sporting type movie. There's still an extra innings here. Red Sox Royals tied up. As Greg Gurecki from the Eric Caddyshack quote, nicely done, Eric. I think so. The setup. Oh, the setup with Ryan. What was his name? Something Ryan. Yes. They wanted him to throw the fight, and he didn't do it, and they broke his hand at the end. Is that the same movie, Greg? Robert Ryan, right? Robert Ryan? Who was later in the Dirty... Well, he's in a lot of movies, but the Dirty Dozen and all that stuff. Robert Ryan, the setup. Is that the one where they want him to throw the movie? Robert Ryan. Okay, it must be. That was a good movie. They broke his hand at the end, and he had the best line at the end. I think he says, I can't fight anymore, and he kind of smiled because he knew he didn't have to take dives anymore. Yeah. That is a good movie. Then you had the Rocky movie. The first one's good. They're all entertaining, but the first one's the best. I haven't seen the more recent ones. Will Smith and Ali was okay. It was good. Um, what other? There's a movie. Oh, there's another boxing, but I can't think of it. Anyway, those are the sports movies. I'll tell you the movies I definitely always stop to watch. So Greg Gorecki says one of the most overlooked boxing films of all time. I believe it's the setup. I think you're right. That's an excellent. I haven't seen that in years. That is such a good movie. I remember them. Again, Greg, this is the one. I'm pretty sure they broke his hand at the end. They're chasing him around the ring or around the fight venue is empty, and he didn't throw the fight, and they're chasing him around the ring. I don't know if this qualifies as a sports movie, but it's a very entertaining movie, and there's sports involved. It's bare knuckles boxing. It's Snatch with Brad Pitt. It's a Guy Ritchie film. Greg Gorecki, I have it in my film noir collection. And what makes me proud about what I just said, I actually pronounced noir correctly, I believe. $1 Million Baby with Clint Eastwood. I've never seen that movie, but I heard it was excellent. It's sad. That's what I heard. Sad movie. Greg Gorecki says it sure was, Eric. Good movie. One of my favorite Clint Eastwood movies. Oh, okay. Does this qualify as a sports movie? I'm going to say yes. Any Which Way But Loose, because that was bare knuckles. Right Turn, Clyde. Right Turn. You guys remember that movie with Clint Eastwood? Right Turn, Clyde. And what was Clyde's cookie of choice? The orangutan. What was Clyde's cookie of choice? A little ad-lib trivia, if you remember. Every Which Way But Loose. Oh, Riker. Lucia Riker was a boxing trainer for that film. Cool. Yep, Denzel was very good in The Hurricane. Greg Gorecki says, yes, I do. So you do remember Clyde's favorite cookie? Oh, wait, hold it for a second. Just give it a minute. Let's see if anyone else. Don't answer. Just say, yes, you do if you remember Clyde, the orangutan's favorite cookie in Every Which Way But Loose. Oh, no. Nope, not that, Greg. Nope. Nope. It's not that. Not chocolate chip. I saw that movie at the movie theaters. It was 50 Cent Summer. I saw that movie like at least 5 times at 2 different theaters that I could walk to as a kid with my friends. Right Turn, Clyde. Right Turn. Nope, not peanut butter. Greg Reagan says, that's mine, LOL. Peanut butter? I'll tell you, it was Oreos. The mother, who was, oh, I can see her, I can't think of her name. She goes, yeah, goddamn orangutan or monkey, whatever she called him. It was an orangutan, but that Clyde, he ate my goddamn Oreo cookies. I'm gonna say that's a sports movie. I'm going with Every Which Way But Loose is a sports movie. It was bare knuckles boxing. The second one was okay, not as funny. Oh, it was funny. It was slapstick. It was still funny. Another one of my favorite all-time Clint Eastwood movies. A Few Dollars More. Oh, A Fistful of Dollars. Excuse me. The first spaghetti western he did. That's excellent. So, but if you haven't seen Snatch with Brad Pitt, it's a Guy Ritchie film. Very good. It's a bare knuckle boxing movie. It's a comedy, gangster kind of movie. Guy Ritchie does those films very well, where he gives you the likable quote unquote bad guys, where they're just like, I'm not condoning anything that anyone does. I'm just saying they're the likable guys. They're the, okay, we do this to make money. We don't really bother regular people. And then you have the other ones who you don't like at all. And he does a good job of that. He gives you the likable technically bad guy. And it's a good movie. Snatch. Guy Ritchie films, I like them. They're not for everyone, but I like them. So. Uh-oh. Well, foul ball. Oh, I thought we almost had a walk-off. Sandy Leone. I thought that was a walk-off homer, but it went foul. Foul and to the left. Foul and to the left. So let's see what Sandy Leone does. Here's the pitch. That's ball. So what we got for a count here? We got a full count here. 3-2. Come on, Sandy. Jack went out of the park. Send the fans home happy. That's my Red Sox update. What other movies? What is a movie? I always like to ask this question. What is a movie, like if you're up at night, you can't sleep, you're clicking by, what is a movie you always stop and watch a bit? Jaws is a movie for me. Doesn't have to be a sports movie. I always sit and watch Jaws. I don't know why, I do. I like it, but... And if anyone stopped by to see a baseball game, we never got there. We talked about all kinds of fun stuff. Mostly sports movies, projects that people are doing, dice baseball, computer baseball, the Cubs of Bears, my cousin Vinny, that's a good one. West Side Story, Greg Gurecki. Ken Burns baseball. You know what's cool about Ken Burns baseball? It's very well done. When he's a Red Sox fan. I believe he's a Red Sox fan because when he comes that 67 season, that's gone. Oh, off the wall. Off the wall. Double. It's funny. I'm watching on a standard definition TV, so I see it quicker than the high definition TV in the living room. My dad's yelling, "That's gone. That's gone." It's a double. Yeah, Ken Burns baseball is excellent. And the 67 season and the music they put to it, absolutely fabulous. Take care, the Cubs and Bears. Oh! He says off the wall. Sorry, Al, I got it. I thought you were leaving. Yeah, I thought it was a home run at first. It's funny, my dad's yelling it's a home run. I'm like, nope, double. So the Red Sox need this win. They got the tying run at second base. Here's the windup and the... Nope, they try to... That never works. The whole spin, try to get the guy at second base. So Devers is at the plate. He made an error today. Anyway, yeah. West Side Story. Let's see if I can remember the gang names. The Jets and the Shark. Am I correct, Mr. Gurecki? Look at that. We've gone into a Broadway play now. There's a lot of diversity in the chat and the channel here. I think it worked in 1971. What happened here? Oh, they're showing a previous at-bat. I thought they just won. And he says yes. What worked in 1971? I'm missing something. I think it worked in 71. So. Oh, okay. Oh! That's too funny, Greg. That's funny. He says second base pickoff, I mean. Yeah, I think you're right in 1971. I'll tell you a funny story. Years ago, I coached 10-12 baseball. And we had kids that were younger. We had friends and relatives on the team, and they wanted to play with their cousins, and their cousins had a friend that went. So we had kids, I mean, younger than they should have been. But we were like, Doc Ellis, very good pitcher. And we played the best team in the league, and they kicked the holy bejesus out of us the first time. And the second time, we were losing 2-1. We had runners at first and second, no outs, and they called the game because of rain. But they stole home and this and that, and they ran the score up the first time. I was get up, foul. And it just was upsetting. There was no need to do that. This isn't professional. These are little kids. Game's well in hand. But, okay, you want to run the score up? And I told the coach, I said, I'm going to remember this. Right? So we went out. We didn't have any pitchers, right? We went out, my cousin and I, we found 2 kids who could pitch. And we became competitive. And the kid kept going, well, they take the lead. I said, just step off the rubber and run right at them. And it worked. It was hilarious. Anyway, that's my little baseball story. Ken Castro got picked off second in high school looking at the fiery sex at what? Fairer. Okay. The fairer sex at the time. Ken, I was playing left field in high school. I wasn't really paying attention. And there was some fairer, as you call it, the fairer sex over by the, watching the game. And I'm staring over at them. Oh, but first, before I start, Greg Gurecki, Canadian football update, as we like our Canadian Football League updates with Greg Gurecki. What the heck was that? A sacrifice bunt? And he didn't even work. They bunt the ball and they didn't even get the guy over to third. That is the world's worst bunt. Oh my God. Can we learn how to bunt in baseball again? Alright, our Canadian Football League update by Greg Gurecki, friend from the north. Update. Calgary 53, Hamilton 1. LOL. Do you think Calgary's covering the spread, Greg? That is embarrassing. The Cubs, the Bears. Hope you meant fairer. Yeah, he did. Ken says LOL. I end up going back on a bird. I heard the crack of the bat. I didn't pick up the ball. And I saw, I just looked up really quick. I said, oh my God, this kid creamed the ball. And I keep going back. I said, oh my God. And then I noticed the ball moved different ways. And I looked around. And the ball was to center. And the kid caught it. And he started going in. That is definitely a dreadful game. The Cubs, the Bears says 1 for a rouge. Now, again, is the rouge when you keep someone from returning the ball out of the end zone on a kickoff or a punt or some rule like that? Greg Gurecki says, yes, that was their only point. Oh, is that a final? Is that a final, Greg? Calgary 53, Hamilton 1. So Greg, I take it Hamilton's a dreadful team. Anyhow, folks. Does anyone have any thoughts on how we should do, just a quick channel thought, the subscriber league? Do you think it's feasible to try to do it in the chat? Google Hangout probably pretty good. I don't know about Skype. No matter what I do, I'm going to have 2 streams going if I do Google Hangout. Greg Gurecki, last week they lost in the final minute. Well, they don't have to worry about losing in the final minute this week. They lost the game in the first minute, it sounds like. Those good old Hamilton Tiger Cats? No, Hamilton... Is it Tiger? Hamilton Tiger Cats? Hamilton Tigers? That's almost worse than getting shut out. Scoring 1 point. It's up to Nunez to knock in the winning run for the Red Sox. Another one of these mega long games. The Cubs, the Bears says, Greg Gurecki, thanks. That is the extent of my CFL knowledge, except I love that you can start a play from the 52-yard line. Cool. I like that they put everybody in motion. I used to watch a lot of it when Doug Flutie was there. Ooh, wild pitch. Runners advance second and third. Sandy Leon at third. Mookie Betts at second. Greg Gurecki, they're missing 4 starters in the defensive backfield. Well, it certainly showed. Greg says, my tickets are on the 55-yard line. Oh, my God. For the Hamilton. So the Royals have brought the infield in. Red Sox have the winning run at third. Sandy Leon. Nunez is at the plate. The fans are on their feet clapping at Fenway. Come on, Nunez. Send this ball back up the box. And he pops it up foul. Come on, Sox. Toronto, the Argonauts. Do they play where the baseball team plays? Or is that too small of a venue now? Did they play at the Sky Dome before? Ken Castro heading up to your area August 11th, Greg. Here's the pitch to Nunez. And he fights that one off. That was inside. As they're saying, it was a 95-mile-per-hour fastball. Well, gentlemen, we're coming up on 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, USA, East Coast. Oh, Greg Gorecki says, yes, they did, but they moved. Okay, I kind of remembered they played there. Greg Gorecki says, my birthday is on the 12th. Well, happy early birthday, Mr. Gorecki. Many happy, healthy ones to come. See if the Red Sox can get a victory here. Nunez fights off another one. Long at bat for Nunez. He has 2 home runs tonight, the newest Red Sox. So we'll stay on. Hopefully the Red Sox win this game. We'll stay on for the rest of this inning, and then we'll call it a stream. Again, think about how if anyone has any thoughts on logistically, to do this Action PC Subscriber League. Ken Castro, I was working at York Lioness Stadium, Greg. Leon? I don't know how to pronounce that. Full count now on Nunez. Greg says cool. Greg says he lives in Lions. Okay. Thank you. Come on, get a base hit. Nunez grounds that ball. Diving play by Escobar. Oh, he's safe! Leon scored. They throw the guy out at first, and Leon went when the ball was thrown to first, and somehow the guy missed the tag. Wow. The Red Sox win, I think. I wonder if they're going to check that as the Royal manager. Is that Clint Hurdle? Does Clint Hurdle still manage the Royal? He's challenging it. Wow. Let's see this again. That's a wild finish. So Escobar made a nice play. It's over. Nope, they're saying he's safe. Red Sox pull it out, and a wild play at the end. So Nunez grounded the ball to short. They had the infield in. Escobar made a diving stop, threw basically from his knees to first. They get the runner Nunez at first. When he throws the ball, Sandy Leon at third goes to home. And he's safe. Somehow the catcher missed that tag. So that's a good win for the Red Sox there. We'll take it. We've been scuffling. The Cubs, the Bears. Here comes a music reference. Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Greg Gorecki, I'm 5 minutes from the town center. Not likely. Ken Castro staying in Vaughan. So let's look at this. Wow, great tumbling slide by Sandy Leon to get around. Let's see this. I can't believe the catcher never tagged him. He didn't. Wow. He did not tag him. Unbelievable. Sandy Leon does a dance move around and gets his hand on the plate. A tumbling dance move. Eric, did you see that? He says, oh my God, Sox. It's unbelievable. I can't believe the catcher didn't get him. I thought for sure they were going to show a replay and he'd be out. But he definitely did not get tagged. Great win for the Sox. They needed that. So, Eric, you're a Red Sox fan. We'll turn in a little Red Sox chat here before we leave. Greg Gorecki says that is where Andrew Wiggins is from. The Cubs were clearly safe at home. Yeah, he was. At first, I thought, how did he get around the catcher? But he did. What are your thoughts, Eric? Yeah, it was like a Pedroia dance move earlier in the season. Uh, what are your thoughts with the David Price situation, Eric, with his Red Sox? I think Price is a very, I don't want to use, he's very bad for the clubhouse. And it's a shame that no one told him to shut up and sit down on that plane. From the coaching staff to a player. Oh, Eric's listening on the radio. Oh, yeah, you got to watch it. It was unbelievable. The radio call must have been fun. Greg Gurecki, cut him loose. Are you talking about David Price? We're doing a little sports Red Sox chat for a bit. If I could trade him tomorrow, I would. Eric says he just needs to keep his mouth shut. Yeah, but he's not going to. That's just my opinion. He's not going to. He was pitching okay. Now he's hurt. I would... And anyone who... I don't understand. They're on the plane. Eckersley literally said, if I remember correctly, and I remembered after reading it, Eduardo Rodriguez had a... And I think I said that earlier in the chat. Eduardo Rodriguez had a rehab start in Pawtucket, I believe, and he pitched bad. He really did. Look up the numbers. I think it was like 3 innings, 9 hits. He did horrible. And Eric Eckersley said he pitched yucky. That's a yucky start or something like that. And I guess Price took offense with that. Yeah, he's never won a playoff. I think his only playoff win was in relief against the Red Sox, if I remember correctly. I mean, him and Rick Porcelli pooped the bed last year in the playoffs. It's sad when Clay Buchholz has your best playoff start last year. So, I just think it's really aggravating as a baseball fan to see. I don't know. I've never been a fan of John Farrell's. I thought, though, to be honest, this year, up until this point, and things going, I thought he was doing a pretty good job managing the team. He tried different things when things weren't going right, moving people up and down the lineup. So I like that. Eric from Higher Ground. Yeah, he is. He's very thin-skinned, David Price. He says he takes offense way too easily. Yeah, and he wasn't even... I just... No one stood up on that plane to tell him to shut up and sit down or just sit down. And that's... I don't like that. Will I root for the Red Sox? Of course. They're my favorite team. But don't like that. I don't like that there are people clapping. Greg Gurecki, he got a gift against Texas when Gibbons pulled Dickey up 7-1 after 4 2/3. So, I agree, Eric. Pedroia should have said something. He wants to be a captain, act like a captain. Greg Gurecki, 2 wins, 8 losses last time. See, that's one more win than I thought he had. I thought the only win he had, or maybe that's the last win. I believe he came out. No, I think that was his. For some reason, I think he pitched out of the bullpen when Tampa Bay beat the Red Sox in one of those playoff games. Yeah, I don't even want to go back to that because the Red Sox should have went to the World Series that year. That was not stellar management by Tito Francona in that series, and I like Tito. But when you're a baseball manager in Boston, you're going to get criticized because guess what? We all think we're baseball managers in Boston. Eric from Higher Ground Gaming. Poppy would have nipped that. Absolutely. He would have. There was another story out there that he's been, Ortiz kept him, pretty much kept everyone in line, which I believe. Pedroia should have said something. I'll tell you what turned me off with Pedroia. He's a hard player. He plays hard and stuff like that. The whole beanball thing with Manny Machado. I don't want to see anyone get hit and stuff like that. But to me, I don't care what Pedroia says. Machado went in there hard. The rule has changed. You're not supposed to do that anymore, okay? And he said, I should have got out of the way. Okay, whatever, Dustin. But you did it, and the guy nailed you, and you're hurt. So, again, the Red Sox didn't do it correctly. They tried to throw at him. They missed. Okay? And then I did not like the way Pedroia handled that. When he says, it's not me, it's them, basically. You just threw your team under the bus, my friend. And again, I'm not condoning the whole beanball thing. I'm just saying Manny Machado is a great player. I'd love to have him on a team. He's a good player. He went in. That was a dirty slide. I don't care what anyone says. He slid late, and he went over that bag, and he's had incidents before. Okay? You're talking about taking out the starting second baseman the Boston Red Sox. That being said, I love Chris Sales. I love what he did. When they go, are you going to lose any sleep? When he threw at him and they were like, oh, he missed. I don't think he wanted to hit him. He sent the message. Okay? And Baltimore, I think they have a more heated. Batista does it. Batista does that in Toronto. Slide late or upsets the apple cart. That's an old phrase, huh? Upsets the apple cart. Greg Gorecki, he should have never have been in the game against Texas. Oh, okay. I don't understand these guys. Under the bus. Oh, he does. I can't stand that. Again, I'm not saying that Pedroia doesn't have a. How can I put this? He should have said that stuff to his teammates in private. He should have never went to again, I'm not going to say the enemy, but that's the opposing team. I get it. It's not like the 70s anymore or the early 80s. Yankees, Red Sox, or Yankees, anybody, or Red Sox. I get it. A lot of these guys are friends. Well, if that guy's your buddy, he basically Pete Rosed you when Pete Rose destroyed his friend, Ray Fosse, in an All-Star game, running him over. And at least at that time, that's legal. I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying. He should have. And then the things he said after in those interviews, if you remember, I just did not like that. I wanted him to play well, but I'm really down on. That was the last straw. That one was the last straw for me. I don't think you throw your teammates under the bus when they're trying to protect you. Now, did they do it in a stupid way? Yeah, they did. A, they didn't hit him. B, one guy threw at his head, which I don't like. I like Chris Sales. He threw behind him. I'm pretty sure he didn't hit him. He didn't hit him. He said, whatever, the ball got away from me. Greg Gorecki, the A's fighting with the A's in the 70s and still winning. That is very true. But who did they hate more than themselves? The owner. They had the common enemy. Now, whether David Price was trying to do that, but I'll throw this out to the chat. How is a guy who's only been with the team at, his second year, all of a sudden the leader? He's never won anything. How do you look up to him? Greg Gorecki chuckles. I don't get it. I don't get it. You gotta have a likable team. They were winning, and their ratings are down. I mean, some of that could be baseball. I always say that, but I don't agree with it. There's things that came out recently. I'm not really happy with a lot of the younger players. No one did anything. Now, maybe some guys just didn't want to get involved, but okay, the players don't want to get involved. If you're the manager, you got to get up there, or a coach. Go sit down. Keep your mouth shut. Sit down. We'll discuss this later. I mean, I love Dennis Eckersley. I like his commentary. He speaks from the heart, and he's not for everyone. I get that, but I like that he criticized, and that wasn't even a criticism. The man threw 3 innings, Rodriguez, who I like, and he got hammered in a rehab start, and maybe he was just trying to get innings in and just trying to throw strikes, yada yada. All Eckersley said that was yucky or yuck. My God, that offends you? David Price, that offends you? Now his arm hurts. And it's legit, I guess. Because at first I thought when I heard that, oh, great, here comes the mystery injury so he doesn't have to pitch on the homestand and get booed. If you didn't want to come to Boston to play for the Sox, don't take the money. Okay? And not everything that you get other people call, oh, it's race. It has nothing to do with race. He is a whiner. Okay? He's a whiner. Adrian Gonzalez was a whiner. The second time he said they played too many Sunday night games, I went to work. I had told Chris Anderson, who jumps in the chat now and then, they need to trade him now. Come to find out, he was a mega whiner and a weasel. Great baseball player. Don't want him on my team. I don't get it. I don't get why people are looking up to David Price. I just don't. We have a chance. The Red Sox me as a fan, I don't want to say we. I know people, that offends people. You listen to sports talk radio and they laugh at, you know what's funny? Sports talk radio, they wouldn't have their job if it wasn't for people listening to it. And they get offended when people say we because they're a fan. That always makes me laugh. Anyhow, and I'm not a, I used to like sports talk radio. It's extremely negative. Not so much like the David Price stories or stories like that. Of course, you're going to talk about that stuff. But not a big fan of sports talk radio anymore. Eric from Higher Ground Gaming. He'll probably end up on the Yankees eventually. Oh, I could only hope. Let him enjoy the Bronx. Greg Gorecki, would you like some cheese with that wine? Oh yeah, that's some high cheese, Greg. The best Dennis Eckersley. I think it was one of the earlier games he did for the Red Sox. You know, announcing. he said shit, and that was hilarious because he didn't realize it, and then I think he realized he said it, and that was just so funny. Again, I don't think he's just talking from off, the way he talks. And I think he said, shit, that's a horrible. And that was hilarious. But I like Eckersley. I think he's unbiased. I think he tells it like it is. I like Remy. I liked Orsillo before that. They used to make me laugh. Red Sox didn't like that. Okay, whatever. I like O'Brien. But I just think someone on that plane, I don't know, maybe you guys disagree, and that's fine. I think someone on that plane should have got up, especially the manager and a coach. Oh, Bob Uecker when he used to do the Milwaukee games. Yeah. The manager or the coach should have got up and told him to sit down and be quiet. Dave Dombrowski was there, I think Farrell's job's on the line. I honestly do. I never thought he was the best manager. Oh, Kirk Gowdy, yes. Greg, do you remember Kirk Gowdy, The Way It Was TV show from the 70s, the early 70s, late 60s? They showed a lot of those on Classic Sports. Those are great. I mean, they used to. Now they do a lot of 30 and 30s, which those are good. ESPN, they do those well. I don't know. The other thing that frustrates me with the Red Sox, they are one of the worst fundamental teams ever. Ever. Just right now, they couldn't bunt the guy over to third. They won, thank God. They don't know how to bunt. I get it. No one practices bunting. My God, someone should know how to bunt. Even the guys you think should know how to bunt don't know how to bunt. Their base running has been dreadful lately. Bogarts got thrown out, tagging up from first trying to go to second. Oh yeah, definitely, station to station, which is fine. But they don't hit home runs. It's not the Earl Weaver Baltimore Orioles will wait for a 3-run homer team. It's funny because they do steal some bases. They have good team speed. Their fundamentals are horrible, though. I mean, Bogarts, that whole tagging up from first, I get it. He wants to tag up, stay out, get second and third so there's not the normal type of double play. But you better make sure you can make it. He was out by a mile. Next guy triples. Vasquez, the catcher. Instead of 1-0, should have been 2-0. I get it. I'm playing devil's advocate. But if you were watching the game with me, I'm screaming at the TV going, why is he going? I can't see what he saw. All I know is he's out by a mile. So, I don't get it. Fundamentals with the Red Sox have been god-awful for a long time. It's mind-boggling to me. I don't get why anyone... at some point in time, they always go, oh, small ball, blah, blah, blah. Guess what? Small ball does work at times. I'm not saying you play it all the time, but sometimes it's important to bunt the guy over, to stay out of a double play, or move the guy to third so he can score on an out or a wild pitch. You do the little things, you're going to win more games than you lose. And it's strange because, again, they steal a lot of bases for the Red Sox. They have better team speed than normal. They don't hit home runs. But they don't, they go through those cold stretches where they don't score. And then when they do score, they score a ton. So, I don't know. Just because I'm a Red Sox fan, I'm overly critical of the team. I think most fans are, regardless of what team you root for and what sport. I enjoy them. Eric from Higher Ground Gaming says, in Japan, they often bunt the guy over with 1 out. Yeah, I mean, okay, that's the extreme, but I can understand who's up, you know. Greg Gorecki, I did know that, Greg. The Red Sox could have had Willie Mays, and they didn't because their owner was a moron. You know. They could have had that's them being stupid. I know the reason why they didn't get him. Everyone who knows, but everyone likes to bring that sort of thing up about Boston. Okay, I don't think everyone's like that in Massachusetts or even in Boston. You can find that stupidity everywhere in the world. And I'm not saying you said that. I'm just saying they should rename the street. I just think you got to know fundamentals of baseball. The Red Sox, to me, don't know they just don't seem like they know the fundamentals of baseball. And my other favorite thing about sports talk radio is when they go, well, you didn't play. What does that mean? I played the game when I was younger. I understand the game. Everyone in this chat who's a baseball fan understands the game. WEI, which is fun to listen to, and the other one's okay. I don't listen to a lot of them. I think they're extremely rude to callers. I've never called up, and nor would I, but I listen once in a while. I think a lot of the callers are stupid also. But, I mean, I get it. It's a shtick. You want people to listen. So, Yankees are in first place still by a half game. They picked up, again, Frazier. It's the bullpen help that they picked up was more impressive. You have Tampa Bay. This is going to be tough. Greg Gorecki says, boo! I don't know if he's booing me. That's okay. Cleveland's been hot. Royals have been hot. The Washington Nationals have been unbelievable. So, I mean, the Yankees. Yes, boo the Yankees. The Nationals have to worry about, just because I watch Ron Juckett and his co-hosts, and they do Washington National recaps, and I watch them. So, I mean, again, they have great offense and pretty good starting pitching, obviously, but their bullpen is not so good. So it's going to be interesting. They score a ton of runs, though. And the Reds, yeah. I think it's going to be a fun baseball season. I've been enjoying it. Eric from Higher Ground Gaming brings up a very good point. Nats got to prove that they can win in the postseason. Yes, they do. Yep. But that offense, they had, 8 home runs the other day? Juggernaut. Again, you think at some point in time that's got to cool off, but they seem they do it a lot, regardless of who's pitching. I hope Bryce Harper, when he leaves, I hope he doesn't go to the Yankees. That's all I hope. They never won in Montreal either. I remember my Expos playoff memory is when Rick Monday hit the home run, the walk-off homer that the Dodgers won the series. Eric from Higher Ground Gaming says, I think it was 6 in a row. Yeah, something like that. They end up hitting 8 in the game, I think. Imagine that. Imagine being the pitchers out there. Hey, Greg, what would happen if a guy hit a home run off Bob Gibson? This is how much the game's changed. I'll let Greg answer in the chat, and I'll read it to you. We're going to go for a couple more minutes, and we'll call it a stream. This has been a lot of fun. Just curious, would you guys like to do this once a week? Again, I came out here to actually try to figure out how to do the subscriber league. And it never got to that because we were having so much fun in the chat. We were all, lots of good stuff. Sports, movies. I don't even remember how we started. Oh, yeah, that's right, Greg. He would knock them down. Again, I'm not saying to hit someone. Just You're not going to be comfortable in there. That's for sure. Greg, I have picked, I think it's Bob Gibson in 1971, his most wins. I'm going to be doing that soon. The 27 Yankees take on all comers. My next one, though, just if anyone's curious on the channel, I think I'm going to do Mark Fidrych. 1976 Tigers. Fidrych won 19 games. He was one of my favorite in his brief career players. When I was a kid, everyone, I know it sounds funny, everyone knew who Mark Fidrych was. He was on Sesame Street. That's why he looked like Big Bird. They put him on Sesame Street with Big Bird. Mark the Bird Fidrych, who is a Massachusetts native, who unfortunately passed away. Oh God, when did he was working on his truck at his farm and it collapsed on him. That's one of the few guys I actually teared up when I found out. I always liked the Bird. And if you haven't seen his documentary on ESPN, it's just excellent. Mark the Bird Fidrych, his best game, oh God, I think it was against the Yankees on Monday Night Baseball. He struck out 18 of them, 19. The Cubs, the Bears is still with us. Thank you very much, my friend. He said, when Don Drysdale hit a batter, he used to offer to autograph their bruise. Oh my God, that's hilarious. The Cubs, the Bears, he didn't have as many wins as I thought. When I was looking up teams to pick to go against the 1927 Yankees. Okay, so it's 70. I knew I picked one of the years. So I'm going to be doing that. I think the next one, well, I got to get my the one and done National League bracket going, but I kind of want to do that Fidrych game or Clemens. But I've done 2 Red Sox games in a row against them, and if you haven't seen it, I did Pedro Martinez against them, which was outstanding. That was just fun. I was actually surprised, and then I did Chris Sale. That was fun too. That's a projection. I bought the projection for the 2017 season out of Action PC because I wanted Sale in a Red Sox uniform. Greg Gurecki in 68, he was awesome. And, thanks to Greg Gurecki, because I did not recall. I was like, well, those stats can't be right. He only had 13 wins. I did not realize he was injured. Oh, in 68. Yes. And I can do that, too, because I did the 68 team. I'm going to do Denny McLain, who had, McLain had 31 wins. But I can do 68 also. It's just fun. Yeah, so far I've done Pedro Martinez, which was very fun, and Chris Sale against the 27 Yankees. Eric from Higher Ground Game. I'm liking my Digital Diamond 2017 replay. I like it. I like when you go back and you do the stats. I've been watching that. I haven't watched it all the way through. I've kind of watched that 10 minutes at a time. You went back to go through the stats to see how accurate they were. And again, is it going to be 100% accurate? No. But that's the fun of it, just like a little alternate universe, Greg Gurecki broke leg off the line. I know. I did not know that when you told me, because I think you had commented. I was doing I got to finish my 67 series, which the Red Sox have a 3 games or 2 lead, so I should finish that one. Oh, Ken Castro's still with us. Nothing beats 1884 Old Haas Radbourne run of 59 wins, LOL. The Cubs, the Bears. Drysdale was great. He didn't get more wins because of the... Yeah, I agree. I can imagine that. They were a horrible offensive team. I think it's in 66, they lost 4 straight games to the Orioles in the World Series. They scored 2 runs in 4 games. I think the 2 runs came in 1 game. Am I correct there? The only reason why I know that because I'm playing the 66 season in Action PC. I have a few of those games on the channel for the Red Sox, who at one time in late May were within 2 of the Baltimore Orioles. Since then, not so well. I'm about 18 games out. They have hit the skids. Eric from Higher Ground Gaming. You download the upgrade for the digital. I like Digital Diamond Baseball. I like it. I find it fun. Greg Gurecki, I think it was Pete Rose. Pete Rose who hit the line drive? Ken Castro, 28-6 in the replay thus far. Not sure if he's going to get to 59-12. Oh, that's tough. Gregory, sounds like the Penguins against the Bruins in 2011. Greg Gorecki, yes, for the line drive and Pete Rose. You know what else was fun, interesting to look up as I was picking pitchers, teams to go against the 27 Yankees. I took Tom Seaver and the 69 Mets and things like that. Again, what was interesting to find was Seaver's. I think he didn't win 20 games as many times as I thought. That was kind of interesting. Greg Gorecki, 2 goals in 4 games. Yep. Yeah, that 66 Dodger team could not score. I mean, again, the only reason why I know that was I'm doing my 66 replay on my Action PC, and I was just looking up stuff from 66, and I went, my God, that team scored 2 runs in 4 games, and I want to say 2 runs in 1 game, or 1 in each, in the first. They got shut out twice. That's awful. Juan Marichal would be a good. Oh, yes. Oh, I don't have. What? Oh, God. His best year, though, would it be the 60? No, it wasn't. It's not the World Series year, I don't think. I got to check that out. Yeah, I'm just adding. I have a bunch of teams in the league already, but I'm just adding as I go along. I think I'm going to do Mark Fidrich next. I don't know. I always like the Bird. I like the Clemens matchup. That's going to be fun. I did Don Sutton for 76 Dodgers. That's his most wins. Lefty Carlton. I did Greg Cott from. I don't have the 65 season, so I did 66. I have Nolan Ryan. I think it was a 73 or 71, whatever. He's with the Angels. They're not a good team. That's the whole thing. I mean, I don't think the Angels will actually win the game because they're such a poor team, but Greg Gorecki, 26-9 and 68. I don't have that 68 team because I don't have the 68 season. The reason why I have the 68 Tigers and St. Louis is because I think they're on the great teams. Actually, I can go check that right now because I have it up. Let's close that. The National League. Oh, those are the American League. Let me go here. Let's go seasons. National League great teams. 68. Go back. 62 Giants. 68 St. Louis. Yeah, I don't have because they didn't win. Oh, I did Phil Niekro. 69. I'm going to use, I think, because Atlanta's a good team. They won the West. I think 69 is the first time they had division. Yeah, because the Mets beat Atlanta before they went to the World Series. And I definitely have the 68 Detroit right there. Smokey Joe Wood in the 1912 Red Sox would be a good test. You know, that's a good point, and they're far enough away. I didn't want to pick teams that could have possibly actually played them, but that's far enough away that no one's on that team most likely. Yeah, I'll have to add them, Smokey Joe Wood. I thought about Cy Young too. Oh, I took a Cleveland team with, but they're not good. But it was his most wins. Bob Feller. And then I was gonna do Warren Spahn, but the team I don't have his better years. I have the 48 season. I bought that, but he's okay. I just think it's fun, the conversations you can have. I don't know. I really did enjoy those 2 games. That was just a load of fun. What Giants teams do you have? Okay, I will show you, Greg Gorecki. I have the 62 Giants. But let's just go through. I have... I don't want to go... Like, I don't want to do anything from the 20s or the 30s. Too close. I guess I could do American League, though. I mean, because it's not like they played interleague. But anyway, I like that. I have the 19... Make sure. Red Sox. Yep, 1912 Boston. Okay. I have the 51 Giants, New York Giants. I didn't look to see who their dominant pitcher was, though. I have the 57 and 58 Milwaukee Braves. 62 Giants, 1962. 2010 San Francisco Giants. Oh, that could be interesting. The 2003 San Francisco Giants. Oh, you know what? 2010 Giant. Who was that? Lincecum? That wasn't Bumgard then. Maybe it was Lincecum. I butchered the guy's name, but the skinny, long-haired kid. Take care, Eric. I think I'm going to call the stream, too. Thank you very much for stopping by and having the fun, and we'll do it again. Greg Gorecki, the Giants teams. Okay, I went through that. Grover Alexander and the 1915 Phils. No, that's cool. I'm gonna just add teams to it because it's a lot of fun. So, and on that note, gentlemen, it's 12:30, and I'm gonna call it a stream. Thank you very much, gentlemen. It was a lot of fun, just chit-chatting away, sports, movies. Greg Gorecki, the 62 team was a great team. Yes, it was. Who was their dominant pitcher, though? I remember I looked. It wasn't like anyone that jumped out at me. I was hoping Marichal, you know. But, actually, let me go. The last thing... well, I'm going to leave in a second, Greg. If you're leaving, thank you very much. I'm going to go to Baseball Reference real quick while I have Greg Gorecki hopefully still in the chat. We're going to go to the 62 team. Love Baseball Reference. Seasons. 1962. San Francisco Giants. Who had the most wins? Let's go pitching. Jack Sanford. Oh, Marichal was 18 and 11 though. Jack Sanford 24 and 7. How many strikeouts for Marichal? 153. What's his ERA? 3.36. Of the starters, he had the lowest ERA. I could do Marichal of 62 maybe. I might do that even with the... That could be interesting. Yeah, good call there, Greg. Good call. Good call, my friend. All right. And I think that's going to be it, folks. So, I'd like to say good night. Yep, Jack Sanford. Yeah, I just looked it up. I think, though, Marichal had 18 wins, so I like the name better. Marichal. But we could go Sanford, too. As the Cubs of Bears says good night from Tampa. Good night to everyone. I'd like to thank everyone who joined us in the chat. Greg Gorecki, the Cubs, the Bears, Eric from Higher Ground Gaming. Make sure you check out his channel. Ken Castro. We had lots of people in the chat. Real fun time talking sports and movies. God, I'm going to miss someone as I keep scrolling up. Shane Sidwell, thank you very much. He left earlier. Brian Cleveland, thank you. And Beatles Eternally, thank you very much. I believe I've hit everybody. So health and happiness till next time. And we jump in for another just long chat about all kinds of fun things. Take care. Bye-bye. Good night. Health and happiness. And God bless.